Not too bad, not too bad. Nice. Well, I was going to say relaxing Sunday, but as you know, I was in the gym earlier.
Yeah, so you haven't been to the gym if you haven't tweeted about it or told everybody about it.
No, I just
Is,
haven't been to the gym in about 18 months.
is this
And
your first time?
yeah, well, first time in a long, long while. The missus dragged me there. She's actually paying for a joint membership because I
Oh,
snore too much.
okay. So she's making you do this.
Yeah,
All right. Oh, Osrule says, "Yep, 15 minutes late. You know it. This is Spanish time. 15 minutes late."
bloody continent.
I know. So, John, tell us first, who are you? I feel like I'm
Uh,
interviewing you now.
Yeah, I am Jordan Reese. I am 29. I am from the United Kingdom.
Like long walks by
Um,
the sea.
so I live by the sea now, if that counts.
Oh yeah,
I love video games, hence being on this podcast.
good.
I used to
That
work with
helps.
Ben, hence the connection.
Yeah.
What else would you like to know?
Um, why podcast?
Why podcast? I've thought about this a bit recently because it seems it's going to be a uphill struggle anyway, isn't it? There's so many podcasts and things like that. But I think I just like talking about video games.
Yeah, me too. If a couple of people enjoy listening to this, then so be it. Great.
Yeah,
This is the very first time we've ever done a podcast live, though. Well, the first time
it
we've done
is.
an actual podcast live on Twitch.tv.
Hmm.
And so we've. I'm Ben. That's Jordan, and this is the Click Click Play podcast. It's been rebranded. We used to be called the Pretty Flycast, and we did about 10 or so podcasts last year, including a Game of the Year. It wasn't even last year, actually, was it? Or maybe I don't know. We stopped about 12 months ago due to me having a laptop that died and having a terrible internet connection, and Jordan, you've now got like the world's fastest internet, haven't you? Well, Wales' fastest internet, definitely.
I am like in the top 3% of UK download speeds right now, Ben. I'll have you know.
Well, I'm probably in the top 1% of Spanish download speeds, and mine's like a tenth of yours. So I'm going 30 down, no, 40 down and 5 up. And go on,
Yeah,
Jordan. Tell me your, help me get envious.
well, to be fair, I would have taken. I wouldn't have just taken. I would have loved to have 30 down if you went back a few months, but 'cause I was on a 5 meg download and whatever the upload rate was, something ridiculous. But in my new house, because it's a new build, I've got 300 megabyte downloads.
Oh,
I'm not sure what the upload is. It tends to vary, but it's ridiculous. So I'm taking full advantage of that.
and the PlayStation Network still downloads games in like 7 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
It's so annoying. I remember thinking, oh great, I can download games really quickly now. I've got fast internet. It's like, nope, still a good 3 or 4 hours. Although it's a lot better than what it used to be. It used to be like 24 when I lived in Barcelona.
Steam though, now that can download a game very fast.
It's okay. It's good. I wouldn't say it was amazing, but it's good.
What's amazing then?
Well, it takes. I downloaded a Steam game. It took maybe 3 hours.
What game was it?
Planet Coaster, I think.
It's like 20 meg.
Gig. It was definitely. It's a good game. It's got lots of nice textures. I've been downloading quite a few games actually. So yeah, let's go straight into it, Jordan. What games have you been playing? Are you playing right now? I think let's start with games you are playing right now.
So have we like officially started the podcast in terms of like the recording that will go on iTunes? We've already started that, yeah?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, the Hello Jordan started that.
That's annoying because I had some intro music for myself.
Oh, you had intro music
For myself, yeah.
for yourself. You're like a wrestler, are you? Coming down to the ring. Well, do you
It's
want
funny
me
you
to?
should.
Should we start
Go
it
on.
again?
Well, no, don't start it again. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Fuck it.
Okay, so that was old Jordan, and here comes new Jordan. Oh, great.
Entering the podcast at 15 stone and 3 pounds.
Ooh, only for the time being.
He's from Penagrig in the Rhondda Valleys. Jordan Reed.
Yes. Are you spitting all your water over your keyboard now?
Budweiser, yeah.
Well, that's quite an entrance.
Thank you.
I can't match that, I'm afraid, but I'm Ben. Great.
Bit of Shawn Michaels.
Oh yeah, that's me. Thanks very much. Thank you very much. So then, yeah, what games have you been playing? Later we're going to try and assemble the top 10 Click Click Play of last year. Only 3 weeks late, but well, 4 weeks late maybe, but still. We're going to get that, and I've still got a few games that I don't know if they should be in there or not, because they're brilliant. I've just started playing, but anyway, we'll discuss that later. But first, what's Jordan's reply to his text? We have games that you're playing. Jordan, tell me a game that you're playing right now. Hopefully not right now.
I feel like I'm going to tread over all ground from last week if anybody listened to that, but
Nobody listened to that.
Yeah, of course. I'm still nipple deep in Mass Effect.
2.
No, finished 2. 2's down onto 3.
So you've been pumping some hours into that.
Yeah.
And how are you finding it? How's 3? I liked 3, the demo. I played the demo for a bit.
So like I said last week, I played them before. 3 I've only played through once before when it initially came out. I haven't played the DLC previously, and I've done one of the DLCs today, and it was really, really good, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a weak start. I think just 3, or it's a bit of a weird start. The art style has changed slightly from 2. I think 2 is so immaculate that any kind of changes feel a bit weird. It feels a little bit soulless in the first couple of hours, but I've really got into the swing of it now, and really, really enjoying it.
I played a good 5 or 6 hours of Mass Effect 1 so far. I'll go back to it eventually.
So how are you finding that then?
Yeah, it's quite fun. It's my type of RPG. There's quite a lot of customizing, and yeah, the aiming and all that stuff's a bit meh at the moment, but I suppose that's just a game of its time. I didn't realize it's like 10 years old, isn't it? 2007 it came out. So I'm enjoying that, and although I've been getting into some other games as well, which has diverted my attention slightly.
It's just really weird. It's playing through 3 now, and then obviously recently I've played through 1 as part of this trilogy playthrough, and thinking how different 3 is to 1, just in terms of the presentational value, the stuff that you do in the third-person combat in 3 is up there with Gears of War. I would say it's some really good, intense third-person combat, and then the first one is just this janky piece of shit in terms of the combat. But like I said last week, the RPG and the conversational stuff has been consistent throughout.
Yeah, Old Rules in the chat says it took him between 70 and 80 hours to finish the trilogy. That's what I'm guessing. I think, isn't it about 24 for episode 1 and then like 35 for the rest?
Yeah, roughly. I would say you probably get through the first one quicker than that because it hasn't got too much DLC. But yeah, the 2 and 3 you can really get stuck in, and it could vary if you wanted to just mainline through it. I bet you could do it pretty quickly, but if you're taking your time, especially with, I think the second one's got a lot of like resource capturing and things like that. I cheated my way through that on this PC playthrough. I got the old cheat engine out and just gave myself infinite money and infinite resources.
That's quite tempting to do that, because I just want to kind of get an idea of the lore. I don't really want to be challenged in playing it. I just want to go through, enjoy like the actual story of it. So maybe I'll pop a bit of a cheat engine in. I'm not used to cheat engines. I'm normally a console gamer. The last time I had a PC to play video games on, I was playing Duke Nukem 3D. That was a classic game with throwing money at the pole dancers to get their boobies out. That was brilliant. Back in in fact, we did that in year 6 at primary school. We managed to load it on the computer, and we were exposing ladies. Very pixelated. So yeah, I'm gonna probably have a go with that. Have you been playing any other games? Have you got Super Mario Run?
The only iOS device I've got is like an iPad Pro.
Oh, so, you've changed. You used to be a Apple fanboy, didn't you?
Yeah, I'm on the old Android phone now. I've got my Sony Xperia. But yeah, so I did download it on the iPad just out of curiosity. I don't think I'll put much more time into that. I played the trial.
Okay, you didn't put £10 into it then?
No, it's not for me. My girlfriend really liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, and she doesn't play games at all, but she seemed... I don't know, there's something about Mario. She really liked, 3D World or whatever the stuff is on the Wii U. She liked that as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't got that one. That's a game I'm probably going to buy next month to play. So I managed to hook my Wii U up to the stream. So I was playing a bit of Mario Maker earlier, and yeah, it's really cool. When you're playing Mario Maker on Twitch, you get quite a few people popping and giving you some levels to play. Lots of troll levels. You know, kind of like, oh, that's great. Let me just jump over this little gap, and then someone's like hidden a block just above, so you just go straight into the pit. So there's lots of trolling around, but it's quite good fun. Super Mario Maker is a very, very good game.
Yeah, I think that was like Giant Bomb's Game of the Year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
The year before, yeah.
Yeah, it was last. The year before last. It was their Game of the Year, and I've also got some other Wii U games to finish, like Xenoblade Chronicles Cross.
Nice.
But I've heard that they're bringing out Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So if they're bringing out Xenoblade Chronicles 2, is that a direct sequel to Xenoblade Chronicles, or is it like or is that a totally new story? If it's a new story, why is it 2 and X is just randomly called Xenoblade Chronicles X or Cross, whatever you want to call it? Any idea?
I like to pride myself on my video game knowledge. I know nothing about Xenoblade.
I've got I've got Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one, on 3DS, but I've played about an hour of.
Okay.
I need to get back into that. I've got so many 3DS games.
They look pretty, especially considering it was on the Wii U. I like the landscapes. It's got this kind of. It's almost a bit like Final Fantasy 14. You know, the kind of where you can see something's scarred the landscape and it's taking a weird mountain into the sky. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And the trailer for the new one. In that Nintendo conference, again, some really epic shit is going down in that video. So it got me interested, definitely. But yeah, I don't know much about it because it was marooned on Wii U Island, unfortunately.
I didn't actually. Oh, which one are you talking about? The new one or about the one that's quite recent?
Both, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new one at all actually. Like any trailer if there is one out for it. So.
Did you watch the Nintendo conference?
Well, I started and then my PC arrived.
Okay.
My PC arrived about 45 minutes in, so I was a little bit distracted. In other words, I just went, nope, turn this off. Gonna load up my PC because I now have a beast of a gaming PC. It's i7 7700K processor with 1070 GTX and 3 terabytes of you know what and 256 gigabytes of SSD, whatever that means. So it runs things very well. Oops. Yeah, runs things very well.
So I'm looking at the video and I can see that PSVR in the background.
Mm-hmm. It's not inside it, by the way.
Okay. Considering you've now got considering you've now got a worthy PC, would you consider jumping into Oculus or Vive, or is that something you're gonna?
Not this generation.
No.
I'm out for this generation. I'm gonna wait for the next one because I've heard rumours. Everyone's got rumours, to be honest. Everyone's spreading rumours that there's going to be a new one out in maybe a couple of years that might be a lot cheaper and without wires and with a bit more support. Now, I also want to see if Oculus and Vive, if one of them is going to win, or if one's going to appear as being like the better, the PS4 over the Xbox.
Yeah.
That's going to wind some people up. So I'm going to wait. But I like for me, the PSVR is great for what it is, although it did make me throw up on Friday night.
Yeah, I think PSVR is probably the most sensible option right now, I would argue. Just in terms of the video game lineup that it's got there, and obviously the price point as well. If you factor in a PC versus a PlayStation, I think PSVR is definitely the way to go. And I don't blame you for skipping the generation either, because there's I'm still waiting for that, that killer app, that thing that you really need to go in and play. And to date, there's nothing that's really grabbed me in that way.
No, the only thing that's grabbed me, well, there's a few actually in the PSVR, but one of them, one or two, I can't remember my top 10. I'll have to look for it. One or two is definitely my top 10, which I'll discuss in a bit. But yeah, cool. There's one that's really good. But yeah, I'd say driving games in VR are horrible. Just vomitarium everywhere. It's not good.
It's weird you say that, because I think I've heard a lot of people say that I don't really play driving games, so I don't really care, but the people that have played VR driving games tend to give it a good write-up.
Maybe. Just not with me. I had a few beers, and then I went and played Drive Club, and I thought, okay, nice 3 laps. That'll be it. That'll be fine. And I kept going, and it was like, oh, and it was about 8 laps until the end. So then I thought, okay, yeah, and then proceeded to get rid of my lunch. So that was not very nice. But there's some really good games though on it.
Yeah, I think anything that you're sitting in a cockpit, really, i.e., a car or a spaceship or whatever, tends to it's an easy one for VR, isn't it? It's an easy sell.
Yeah.
But then obviously it's going to come down then to the software, and if the VR Drive Club is anything as consistent as the normal console Drive Club when that was released, then I can imagine it's probably not that well optimized.
The Call of Duty demo was really good actually. It was quite short, like about 5 minutes. So I don't know if that stopped me from feeling sick at all. But that was good. Also, Until Dawn, Rush of Blood. That was great fun. Terrifying. But it was really good fun. And I can't wait. I think I'm going to wait for the reviews because it actually comes out very, very soon. Like tomorrow it is. Resident Evil 7. And it's totally playable all in VR. And I really want to do that. I think that would be just hilarious to stream as well. But I'll probably be getting that at the end of the month. So another week and I'll probably get it. PS, cool. But this is going to be one of my only cross-platform buys that I'm going to actually buy on the PS4 instead of the PC, mainly because of the VR.
Yeah.
That's, I think, just crazy. It'll be fun, and I'll be able to stick it on random people when they come over and visit and terrify the lights out of them.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's probably the first AAA game that's really embraced that VR setup.
Yeah, it's a proper game as well.
Yeah, the only other thing I can think of is like Elite Dangerous, but again, it's cockpit based. It's very easy to implement that VR solution. Mm-hmm. This is the first. What I ultimately want is give me Skyrim in VR, and I know that I could go to Reddit and people can tell me how to kind of mod that in and do it in some weird ways and get some third party software and wherever else. But no, I want Bethesda to release. Skyrim VR. They talked about Fallout, didn't they? And I think that was for PSVR, which just absolutely astonishes me because if today I can't reliably get like Skyrim running on my PC, my high-power PC on the Oculus, I just don't see how they're going to get Fallout running on a PlayStation 4 in VR. But they couldn't get Fallout 4, normal Fallout 4 running on PS4 from what I've heard. So
no,
that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I think. Rob's saying Drive Club VR isn't bad. I mean, I didn't like the fact that it's really hard because also when you're driving, you need to look ahead of where you're going. But because the resolution or the whatever it's called is so low compared to what we're actually seeing on screens nowadays, it really does like this. You can see every little pixel, which is a bit annoying. Dirt VR looks promising. Yeah, Dirt's a great game. I've got which Dirt is it called? The new one, or is it just called Dirt?
Dirty Dirt.
Dirty Dirt. Yeah, the new one. The new Dirt game is really, really good. But playing that in VR will be awesome. I hope it's a free download. Have they said anything yet about that?
About what in particular?
Dirt VR. Because I heard that was...
Why would that be
coming out?
Why, if you own the main game,
Yeah,
you
because
mean?
I've got the main game.
I don't know.
We'll see. Okay, so are you playing any other games? Apart from Mass Effect and with your VR? Have you got VR, actually? You have, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got Oculus, but that's why I said I'm not playing it at the moment because there's nothing to play. Rob's in the chat, by the way, has just said it's £10 for Dirt VR if you've got the game, apparently. That sounds decent.
Yeah, I'll definitely get that then.
I don't know what that is in tapas, but certainly in the UK, £10.
£10, that's about €100 now. In fact, no, with a pound down, it's about, €2.
We'll be back.
After Brexit.
No, literally just Mass Effect and Rocket League. I kind of got my sights set on Resident Evil 7. We'll talk later about games for this year, but oh my god, the next couple of months are going to be absolutely berserk.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking maybe I'll put Mass Effect on hold for the summer when I've got lots of time. Because I think Andromeda is just a brand new story, and isn't it? Isn't there a section in part 2, Mass Effect 2, where they go on an Andromeda mission, and that's kind of what Mass Effect Andromeda is?
I don't think it's referenced in any way in the original trilogy. I think this is very much EA BioWare saying that, well, kind of looking at the way that the Mass Effect trilogy ended and finding a way to relaunch the franchise. So without any spoilers, it'd be fairly, you can do anything in video games and stories really sci-fi at the end of the day. But if you look at the way that Mass Effect 3 ends, it'd be quite difficult to kind of start from scratch. So the principle is that due to this kind of apocalyptic threat that's coming towards the galaxy, they send off an arc of the species from the Milky Way who go to Andromeda, and you're somebody on that ship, I guess.
Okay, I think I know. Oh, I know what happens at the end of Mass Effect 3. Didn't they change the end of the game with a patch when it first came out? That rings a bell.
Very mildly, and I haven't seen that yet. I'll see it this time, but it's not. The principle is the same. They did the major change that they did was to release. It's not really a change, but they released a piece of DLC where there's big criticism that it didn't really kind of round things off with a lot of the characters from the games, and they released a piece of DLC set in the Citadel, so the big social kind of place within the universe where I get it just sounds like a kind of a house party or something with all the previous characters turn up, get drunk before the final mission, and the end of Mass Effect 3 is really dark, which is my big criticism of the game. Actually, I think 1 and 2 kind of had this really, I don't know, 70s 80s sci-fi thing going on where it's kind of this sexy sci-fi, and I expected the end of Mass Effect 3 to be me kind of, yeah, definitely a bit more sexy, and me winning the day, getting my medal, sleeping with some aliens, and then cracking on. But no, it's not. It's a depressing game actually. It's a bit up its own arse.
Oh dear. It's gone all hipster, is it?
Well, it's trying to be something that it's not, in my opinion. But all the good stuff is still there, but it's just wrapped up in a bit more pretension than you're used to with the previous two.
Oh, well, that's disappointing. I will play it eventually. Probably once. I bet I'll end up playing. Well, I'll probably get Mass Effect Andromeda as soon as it comes out and go through it and go, I need more, and go back into the 1, 2, and 3. So the games I've been playing at the moment are probably ones that you've not touched. I loaded up Overwatch, which I know you are into Overwatch, aren't you?
No.
I think you like Overwatch.
I like what they've done. I can't. It's not my cup of tea.
No. I loaded it up on the PC. I'm still kind of getting used to the controls though with first-person shooters on PC, and it's a bit fiddly. But I'm getting the hang of it. Yeah, it seems fine.
You could play it with a controller still. I know you probably wouldn't be as competitive, but the controller definitely will.
Yeah, and I'm trying to go off the controller. In fact, the only thing I'm still using with the controller is Hitman, because it's not competitive and it's a lot easier. For I think third-person games, the controller is a lot better.
I think most games the controller's better. There are certain games where a mouse and keyboard's better. I think games developed for a PC ground up, hardcore. I play a bit of Arma, which is the military simulator. Now that I wouldn't really. There's so many buttons and so many different functions that you can complete in that game. I wouldn't want to do it with a controller. Elite I play with a controller, but again, you're sacrificing 70% of the functionality of the game. But I've done a decent job of kind of mapping it to a controller.
Yeah.
And then RTSs, I guess. But outside of that, since Halo, why do we need mouse and keyboards to play games?
Yeah. That's true. Okay, well, the other ones I've been playing, I loaded up World of Warcraft. I played it for about 2 hours and thought, yeah, it's all right.
Now that's a mouse and keyboard game.
Yeah, that is a mouse and keyboard game. Although the other game that took its place and is the reason why I'm probably going to uninstall World of Warcraft is Final Fantasy XIV. Have you loaded that in the last 2 years, Jordan?
Yeah, I've got a subscription. I give them money each month, but I don't tend to log in. But
just like your
I just
gym.
fuck you. I just like knowing that it's there. It's a comfort game for me. I like to load in, go to the Golden Saucer, dress up in a tuxedo, play some cards, listen to the music a bit, drive my girlfriend nuts with the repetitive. She hasn't got a clue.
I drove Dave up the wall with the New Grindania one.
What's that?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So I've been playing that. Also, yeah, Final Fantasy 14 is great. I thought it does look stunning on the PS4, but then on PC it's like wow. If you got it max settings, it's very pretty, and it's running decent FPS as well for me. Also, one game which I've got into, and it's one of those that is addictive, so I was expecting it, but it's really good. Planet Coaster. Have you played Planet Coaster?
No, I've noticed it's like number 2 in the Steam charts at the moment.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's good because it only had like a 15% discount over the winter sale. But it's so good. Have you played Roller Coaster Tycoon?
No, but I know what those type of games are, you know.
Oh, it's like everything I wanted Roller Coaster Tycoon to be.
Yeah, I've heard it's kind of very intuitive. I've heard.
Oh, you can do anything at all, and it's like, oh, you want to go underground, great. But in the old games, if you wanted to go underground, you had to hit the ground at certain angles and this type and the other. But like when you're making a roller coaster, it'll just automatically do it for you. I've barely scratched the surface with all the different types of rides, and I've played it for quite a few hours. There are 3 different ways you can do it. You can play it through the tutorials, which are just on the beginner level ones, which are fine. They got they gave me the hang of it. There's also a sandbox mode where you can just unlimited cash, do whatever you want, build the craziest theme park, which I haven't played. And the one I'm on at the moment is the challenge mode, where you can choose like what situation to start on, whether it's you're in the icy north of Canada somewhere, or you can be in the desert or these different places, and you can just do it. But you start off with a limited budget, and then you've obviously got to earn the rest. So that's quite fun and challenging at times, because you can be earning absolutely loads of money at one point, and then all of a sudden it starts dropping because 2 of your most popular rides are getting a bit old and they need repairing all the time. So yeah, it's a really, really good game, and you can customize anything. In fact, pretty much every shop that you've got, you can have a base box of that shop, so it's not decorated at all. It's just like a cube really with a hatch entrance, and you can just add loads of different things to it to make it to decorate it and make it look cool. So it's really good, and you can ride every roller coaster. See, that was the thing I wanted when I was playing Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 15, 20 years ago. I was desperate to actually ride my roller coasters, and now I can. And it's a really, really good game. It's not made my top 10, but I think if I'd been playing it like from the middle of last year, I'd have possibly included it, just because it's so addictive and a really, really good game.
Oh, good for them. It seems like it must be selling like hotcakes for it to be number 2 in the charts. So what is it, about 20 quid, something like that?
No, I think it's 30. It's not full price. It's not an absolute full price, but it's not cheap. I think they released it 2 days before. No, 2 days after Roller Coaster Tycoon World, and I was looking on Twitch at like people streaming it. Planet Coaster, there were 30. This is just after it being released. There were 30,000 people watching Planet Coaster, and I looked at how many people were watching Roller Coaster Tycoon World, which had been released I think 2 days before. Two people. 2 people in the entire world were watching Roller Coaster Tycoon World, compared to 30,000 on Planet Coaster. So I think it shows which one won. And the reviews for Roller Coaster Tycoon World on Steam are terrible, whereas Planet Coaster's really high. And they've got loads of blueprints and stuff you can download from Steam with the Steam Workshop.
Nice.
Yeah, really good.
Just to clarify, it's normally $29.99, and it's on sale at the moment for $25.49.
Ah, okay, so they've got the same deal on as at Christmas then. Good game, buy it. If you want to kill a whole day without realising it, it's great. Also, because over Christmas, it was the Steam Winter Sale, and I knew I was getting my computer. I did buy a few games that I haven't played yet, but I'll get around to it. That's like the Steam sale. South Park Stick of Truth.
Good.
When's the new one coming out? Because I want to finish that before the new one comes out, and I think that's soon, isn't it?
It's within the next 2 months. I saw the release date earlier. I think it's like April.
Oh, right, okay. So within the next 2 months.
Yes, we'll go through the 2017 releases later, and we'll clarify that one.
But I heard it was really good. I think it's about €5 or something. So I thought, getting that, because I was really tempted to pre-order the new one on the PS4 to get this, but I knew I was getting a PC, so I thought it's gonna be a lot cheaper on there. And I've heard it's quite good. It's not the longest game, maybe 20 hours or something like that, 17 to 20 hours. So that sounds perfect. Yeah. Also got The Sims 4, because that was €20, I think. It was about half
So
price.
is that like later Sims? That's the newest stuff, is it? Okay.
And I've heard really good things. I've seen a few people streaming them, and they're pretty good. Stardew Valley. Actually, I bought that a while ago. I played it a bit on my Microsoft Surface, but yeah, that's good. I'll put some hours into it sometime. And what else? Hitman, which we'll discuss later. And also King of the Hill, H1Z1. Have you played that? Or H1Z1, as it should be.
No, so that's like the Daisy clone thing, yeah.
I've never played DayZ. For me, it reminds me of the Hunger Games. Everyone's just plonked into a map, like 100 and... Is it 200 people? Oh, it's 150 to 200 people get plonked on a map, and you've got to, be the last one standing.
Okay.
So it's a pretty good game. I've been watching loads of people play it, but I haven't dared turn it on because people get so angry playing that. Like really, because when you're near someone, you can pick up their voice and they can hear you. And I've seen people like get killed and just start screaming and shouting at the guy who killed them. It's like, calm down, it's a game.
Yeah, and surely that's the point of the game, is to kill each other.
Or if they kill someone, they start going, fucked your mother. Like, well.
So that game originally was developed by Sony Online Entertainment, I remember.
Oh, was it?
And I think they spun off Sony Online Entertainment, and it just seemed to go into, I don't know who owns it now, but I can't see it come to PS4 or anything. It just seems to middle its way through the Steam charts.
I think it is coming to. I think it's coming to. It's coming quite soon to Xbox as well, I'm sure.
But is it good?
It looks like a really frustrating game. And like when you could die within the first 5 seconds, and then you've got to like queue and wait for the game to populate, and then you go back in and you could die in 5 seconds again. So I think it's frustrating more than anything.
Okay, I'll give it a miss unless I hear differently. Rob in the chat has just confirmed South Park is March the 31st, so not too long for that one. 2 months.
Okay, that's good. That gives me a chance to play a few other games that are out soon. Also, I got Rainbow Six Siege, which is the game I've been playing this afternoon, which is a brilliant game.
Yeah, it was a weird game that. I hear really good things about it, but they just seems like it's had a second bit of life, really, because they really fumbled the initial release. It was they released it as full price, but I remember it came with, there was just a lot of like microtransactions and additional stuff you could buy.
I think they're all. I mean, most of the stuff that's all the DLC that you can download, the microtransactions are all cosmetic, so it's not like anything you need.
Yeah, I think when it originally released, it was a full price game with very limited modes, maps, etc., and then stuff to kind of buy on top of it. So it left a bad taste in people's mouths. But as time has gone on, I think the core of the game is so solid that it's managed to stick in there, and it seems to be quite popular now. A lot of people are saying best competitive shooter.
Oh yeah,
around. So
if you want a co-op competitive shooter and that requires like not stealth but requires really good tactics and working with people, then yeah, it's a brilliant. I think it's really good. It's one of my. I've only been playing it for about 3 or 4 hours, but I know I'm going to put a lot of hours into this. I also know a few people who play it as well, so I think that really helps if you actually know people, and you can chat along with them. So that's I'm looking forward to getting into that, and I'll be streaming it. I'm doing situations at the moment because there's single player, but there are like these 10 situations that you have to do. And that's kind of their single player mode, but the majority of it is just online.
Yeah,
trying to get as much as possible, like as high a rank as possible by doing that.
I just love the idea of like blowing up a wall and there's a guy behind it, and stuff like that.
I managed to. I think I was the situation number 5. I just finished before this stream, and I did like the majority of it with 11% health, and it was pretty nervy. But I was a sniper, so I just kept having to scout ahead and do it. And yeah, you play your roles, and I think it's a really good game. Really good game.
Were the people friendly?
I was playing the single player one, so I don't know.
Okay.
But I'm sure. I think the community is all right. The season pass for the second season is actually out, and you can buy that. It's not the same price it's not a full price game. I think it's about €30, so £25. I'm guessing you'll keep everything that you currently have, but it'll just open up the new operators, which are the new loadouts, the new kind of characters that you play as, and also you get those like a week early, and some new maps about a week early as well. But all the DLC that's content is free, which I think nowadays games are doing that because they're realizing that splitting the player base is not good. Because like Titanfall's doing it now, Rainbow Six Siege is doing it. Battlefield, no, but they've got such a huge, huge following that people will pay €40 for a season pass to get a few extra maps.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's Rainbow Six Siege. I'll probably speak more about that next week.
It's one to watch, I would say, which is weird considering the amount of time that it's been out. But I think the fact that that's still got a fan base and it seems to be growing, that like I said earlier, that says a lot about the core of that game. Seems
Should
really
get it,
strong.
Jordan. We can play along.
Yeah, maybe.
It's really like I was clearing a airplane earlier. They had some terrorists, 11 terrorists, and I had to kill all 11.
Doing God's work.
I was, yeah. Can't wait to play as a terrorist. Oh, probably been put on a list now, haven't I?
Not the first time.
Oh, anyway, what other games have I been playing? That's it really. Obviously, PSVR. Been enjoying a bit of Quiplash. Have you played Quiplash before?
In PSVR?
No. I'm just thinking of PSVR and party games because I got that in one folder on my PlayStation 4.
But yeah, I've played a bit of Quiplash.
If anyone hasn't played it, it's like Cards Against Humanity, but you have to write down the missing words. You don't get given them. It's great fun.
Are you playing that like standalone? Because I've got it as, is it like Jackbox Bundle or something like that?
Yeah, Jackbox Party Pack. I've got 1, 2, and
That's
3 on the PS4. I'll probably get it on PC, just the third one. But I'll wait for a good sale for that because I've already got it on the PS4.
Yeah, it's good fun. I played that a lot with my mates Rob and Kirsty. Rob's in the chat now. Yeah, loads of fun. You kind of use the phone to write in answers to questions. And is that a really offensive one, Quiplash? Or is that something
it can
else?
be very offensive. I was playing it on Saturday night, last night, and I put Twitch login, so you had to log in with your Twitch, and it kind of weeds out the racists, but no, it didn't. Unfortunately, didn't weed out all the racists. But once we established a rule where you can't say the N-word, my viewers halved, but it was a lot more fun. Great. And a guy from Germany who was 15 years old won every single game. Who says Germans don't have a sense of humour? So, hey, London Reese says, how's it going? We're good. Anyway, Jordan, what else have you been playing, or should we move on?
You've asked me that question about 5 times. Just Mass Effect.
Just Mass Effect.
Yeah.
You need to play a modern game. Well, there are plenty of games coming out this year, or should we save that? What should we bring up next?
We're going to go through our game of the year 2016.
That sounds about right. We're going to work out, because we'll go through our top 10. Or should we just do the top 10 for this? Let's do the top 10 for Click Click Play.
I thought that's what we were doing.
Yeah, no, we're just trying to work out then what's going to be the top 10.
Well, if I go through my list,
okay,
and then if you want to jot down any of those that you would consider being in your top 10, by the end of it, we might have at least a couple that we agree on, and then we can build it from there, I guess, and do the same with yours.
Okay. Well, I've already got my top 10 as well, so let's... Oh, why don't we assign points to it, and then work out, and then that's like the balanced view, the balanced result.
Yeah, that's are you in? Can you be in charge of the points?
I can. If you send me a WhatsApp with all of your top 10. In fact, no, I can load up.
It's on the bloody website.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Remember, I put time and effort into writing the article on the website that you didn't do.
Oh yeah, I will do it eventually.
2018.
Oh, I remember this. Remember these games. Okay, so I will do that. Do you want to tell the listeners something, a nice little story while I do this?
Well, I could start going through my list if you want.
I thought we were going to just go through all of our lists.
Well, how are we gonna make the click playlist if we don't go 2 hours?
Because I'll announce like what is like number 10 and 9 and that.
But how do you know what's number 10 and number 9?
Because I'm going to assign points and add them together. To be honest,
Assign
you
point.
could easily mention your top, your 10 down to 7, because I'm pretty sure there's no way they're getting... No, 10 to 8, because I don't think they'll end up making it.
Okay, I'll start. So, number 10 for me was Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Did you play that?
No, but I saw it really cheap on PC, but then I heard the port wasn't very good, so I didn't buy it.
To be honest, you won't have any problems with it. My PC, like with a lot of apparently poor ports, if you've got a decent PC, it tends to just power its way through anyway.
Okay.
I think a lot of the complaints come from people running on kind of middle of the road hardware, and obviously it's not that well optimized. But I had an absolutely fine experience playing 1080p, 60 frames a second.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play the previous game at all?
No, I've never played it. I remember looking at the trailers and thinking, yeah, this looks like a really cool game.
Yeah.
But no.
Like I said on the website, I really enjoyed it, but it didn't kind of blow my socks off like I wanted it to. But I did want to give it a mention on the list. If anybody's played the previous game, it's very much more of the same. Doesn't come close to hitting the heights of the original, which is a classic. But that's quite an old game now. You're going back to I think 2000 that came out, but it's so influential, and I've got really fond memories of playing it. But this latest one was decent, more of the same, really poor ending. But I can recommend it if you're going to get it at a cheap price.
Okay, I might do because I'm guessing the summer sale will be coming up in. And do they have an Easter sale? Oh, they don't call
Probably.
it. They call it a spring sale, isn't it? Because they don't like to make any religious references on Steam. Okay, we're just going to say for the top 10, you get 1 point if it's 10, 2 points if it's 9th, you get 3 points if it's 7th, you get 5 points if it's 6th, you get 7 points for 6th, 10 points for 5th, then we'll say 14 for 4th, 19 for 3rd, 25 for 2nd, and a big 30 if you give it number 1. So, do you want to mention the climb? Because I have absolutely no idea what the climb is. And I'm also going to mute my mic because I'm typing and I don't want it to come up on the sound. So
Okay,
go on, tell us about the climb, Jordan.
So 1 point for Deus Ex anyway, so get that on your list. The Climb is a VR game. It was day one on Oculus. It is a climbing simulator. You basically, the mechanic is that you've got two kind of floaty hands in a very VR fashion. You need to attach yourself to kind of grips in a wall. If you're one-handed, if you haven't kind of got both hands grasping a piece of the wall, then a meter will run down. If that runs down to the bottom, you'll fall, you'll die, and you'll have to start again. For anybody who's played VR, you'll know kind of what sense of presence you can get from that stuff. And when you look down, when you're climbing a 200-foot wall, that can be quite a daunting experience. But really polished, really fun, clearly built from the ground up for VR, which is sorely lacking, I would say, in terms of big kind of. I wouldn't say this is a AAA game, but certainly it's a nicely polished and well-rounded game. The only VR game on my list, which I was a little bit disappointed about at this point, but I just wanted to give it a shout out because I think a lot of people avoided it because they cashed in a little bit when it came out. I think it was about 50 quid in the UK, which it really isn't worth that. But hopefully it's a little bit cheaper on the store now, and it's definitely worth a go. I wish they would sell it a little bit cheaper so that people can get a taste of it. But really, really good. I'll move on to No Man's Sky. We won't spend too much time talking about that, but I've
just realised that The Last Guardian to Uncharted is 19 points to 25, so that's 6, and then it's only 5 to the number 1. So we're going to say 34 points if we give number 1. There we go. Okay. Just an update. I'm still going. So yeah, go and tell us how terrible or how not terrible No Man's Sky is then.
I'm sure the listeners were already thinking about that points thing. No Man's Sky then. I know it's everybody hates it. Nobody's got anything good to say about No Man's Sky. I really enjoyed it. I think I put a little bit of a write up on the website about it, and I've agreed with a lot of the issues that game had in terms of the hype leading into it. But if you can remove yourself from all that stuff, it's just a really nice game, really relaxing game. Chuck a bit of music on, fly around space, mine some resources. I enjoyed it. It's good. I think it does a sense of scale like nothing else. If you think about when you kind of warp into a solar system, land on a moon, and you can see the planet that moon is orbiting around, you can then take off from that moon, land on said planet, and then just fly off that and fly to another planet in the solar system, or go to another solar system altogether. I think nothing else has done that I'm aware of. But yeah, it was a victim of its own hype, unfortunately, and sad times for that studio, I think. Next, so number 7 is Dishonored 2, kind of similar to Deus Ex in terms of more of the same. Certainly didn't blow my socks off, but was more impressed with this than I was with Deus Ex. I've spoken to quite a lot of people in the last few weeks that have picked it up now that it's starting to be a little bit cheaper, and I think it seems to be getting a bit of a following, but really good. I won't go into the details if anybody doesn't know much about Dishonored, but the first one, really, really enjoyed. Kind of a dark Victorian style first person stealth game. If you've ever played Thief, that's probably a bit of this lineage. You get powers that you can use in really interesting ways to fight the enemies, kind of time control and taking over people's thoughts and things like that. Really good. If people haven't played that, I'd heavily recommend it. Doom.
Okay, ready? I'm just going to stop you there because I'm going to tell you the games that didn't make it, and we do have a clear winner as well. But let me just give me 1 second. One of the games that didn't make it, Jordan, I'm afraid was No Man's Sky.
Yeah,
which is
acceptable.
But looking at this, actually, I don't think Doom made it.
Doom didn't make our top 10
Doom
list.
did not make our top 10 list.
It's a bit odd.
I know. But well, that's the way it is. Or did it? Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, no. It did make it just. It's joint 9th. Okay. I'll just mention the games then that didn't make the top 10. It's 4 of yours, 2 of mine. Deus Ex, yeah. The Climb, No Man's Sky, and Dishonored 2. Although I did buy Dishonored 2 because it was really cheap in the, the 7 deals of Christmas, or the 12 deals of Christmas. So I did buy it. I also got Dishonored 1 as well, so I'm going to try and go through those when I've got some free time. The games that didn't make it through mine were the VR ones. Thumper. Have you played Thumper?
No, I've seen it. Looks interesting.
It's brilliant. It's a rhythm horror game, I think they call it, but it's like real intense. You've got to hit you are a space beetle riding through space on some kind of silvery surface, and then some giant gassy monster with a funny face and no eyes is trying to kill you by making you smash into things, and you've got to hit the buttons. I'm only on like level 4 out of 8 or something. I don't know, but it gets really, really difficult. It's much better in VR because as you're flying through things, you can see things in the distance and you can judge like the time and the speed for it. So it's easier, but it's still a really difficult game. But once you're really immersed in it, I've played it for quite a long time and had no motion sickness whatsoever. But it's definitely worth a go, and I'll probably ever give that a stream soon because it's a really, really good game. And the other game which I'm gutted didn't make it. 7, 8. Yeah, definitely didn't make it, unfortunately. It would have been number 11. Was Res Infinite. Have you played it?
Played the original Res.
Oh, well, this is brilliant. This is Res Infinite. It's in VR as well. And, I mean, yeah, it's Res. It's what Res was, but with better visuals. You can do it in VR, so you can turn around and see. When you're aiming with your head, it's a lot easier than with the controller. And you just feel like you're really in there. And when the controllers vibrates to the music and the beats, and you're flying through different levels, it's a really, really good, really enjoyable game. However, the best bit is Area X, which is weird because they've added it, but it's just one level with quite a few bosses, and that's just it's like a modern day interpretation of Res. So it's a bit more open, but instead of the little blocks that you're whacking, they're actually like it's like dusts and clouds that you're flying through. It's all lit up and very, very fancy schmancy. So I really, if you never played Res, play it. If you have played it before, also play it because it's really, really good. Have you played it? Have you like even seen any of this Res Infinite, Jordan?
Like I said, I played the original, and my understanding is Res Infinite is basically the original with an additional level.
Okay. Yeah, that Area X is very... If they make a whole new game out of Area X, then I'll be the first person to buy it. It'll be on pre-order for me because it was so fun. But yeah, I think it's like the original, but with much better graphics. The gameplay is really smooth, and it's just a really addictive game.
It's a good fit for VR.
Dave, who I live with, he doesn't play video games whatsoever. Like, no, not one thing. But Res, no, he loves it. Really, really, really does. So
that's
maybe
interesting.
it's a game to play. It's definitely a VR game to show off VR, because especially with the controller vibrating as well, you feel so immersed in it. Really, really recommend that.
Cool.
We've got a few messages in the chat. T Gaming says, "Hey Slapdick, the cam's a little brighter now. Right now, it's hard to see you. My cam is a little bright. Okay, thanks for telling me about that. Also, Arnie, I don't know if you were here to see me, but I was playing No Man's Sky. I definitely was playing that. Rainbow Six Siege, and I know you're level super, super high on there. So I think he's a big fan of that. Let me just quickly check the light, and then I will announce the top 10. Well, 10 or 9 is joint. So, John, should we choose a game? Yeah, I think we should just discuss the two and then decide which we think should be higher.
So this is deciding between 10 and 9 of our list, yeah?
Okay, yeah. Okay. Which one? I know which one I prefer, and I think I know you're probably going to agree with me. But it's between Doom and Overwatch. Because I like, yeah, I'm going to go for Doom as well. But Overwatch is a really fun game. I'm not somebody that plays online games, like PvP games whatsoever. In fact, the first one that I kind of got really into was Destiny, which I know it has PvE, but no one ever plays that, apart from the raids. The raid's quite fun. But yeah, Destiny's really good. There's got loads of missions, you can see progression and that. Overwatch, nah, you get those random loot boxes. And I've only maybe played 5 or 6 characters, only maybe 2 or 3, regularly. But I just think it's a really slick game, just like Blizzard do. They do perfect. It's very rare to have any glitching, and it just looks stunning. And it's a really fun, smooth game to play. And you can just go in, and I don't feel under pressure. One of the best things about Overwatch is at the end, it doesn't say how many kills people on the team got or how many deaths, because so people can't rage at you for different things, which is one of the reasons why I would never play Call of Duty online, because I don't want to hear how many people my mother slept with.
I think if we were looking at this objectively, then potentially you'd need to give it to Overwatch if you were looking at like the impact and how long that game's going to be around. But it's our list, and I don't think I certainly wouldn't put much time into it, and it doesn't sound like you have. So as much as I've got a lot of respect for what that game's doing, it's not something I want to spend another 5 minutes with.
No, however, I mean, what you say, you're saying that it's going to be around, but Overwatch will be around. But I think Doom, I mean, what it's done is incredible. The fact that it's brought back Doom, that people are actually talking about it and enjoying playing Doom they're playing Doom in 2017 or 2016, 2017.
It's insane what they've done the impossible, really, in terms of bringing that game back and making it relevant again. I do think that it's starting to get to the point of it's being overemphasized now. As good as that game is, it's a good feel-good first-person shooter. But outside of that, what is it actually doing? Not a hell of a lot. And I don't think it's going to be a massive impact on the industry in any way. But if just looking at it as a the release and what it is and what they managed to achieve, it's outstanding, absolutely outstanding.
And yeah, I mean that's with the loot boxes. Yeah, it works. It works. Although I don't know, every time I just feel like the loot box is not very rewarding, and especially once you get past a certain level and they get more and more difficult to obtain, you just get tempted to buy a big batch of them. But then, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't think there should be a loot box. I don't think there should be a progression where it makes you better, but maybe have it so, okay, every level you go up, you can choose 5 outfits. It's not just random. I just feel like it's not worth the grind, really. I don't feel properly rewarded.
I suppose the reward is having fun in the game, I guess, isn't it? That's probably why people play. And obviously we're back to Overwatch now, just to clarify.
Oh, yeah, we are. Doom, however, brilliant game is Doom.
Okay, cool. Doom number 10, boom.
Oh, I thought Doom was number 9. Overwatch is 10.
Oh, right. Oh, shit. Okay, so I thought we were arguing what... Yeah, that's right. Yeah, spot on. Okay, cool. So Overwatch 10, Doom 9. I'm just going to run quickly through what was left on my list, because I guess all these made it in then, did they? So number 5 was Tom Clancy's Division.
Yeah, anything higher on your list than... Well, let's go through, because I think everything else that was on your list has made it.
Yeah. So in terms of my list, anyway, it was Tom Clancy's Division at number 5. Number 4 was Final Fantasy 15. 3 was Last Guardian.
Are you going to spoil it?
Oh, is this spoiling it, is it?
Spoiling it now.
No. Okay, fine. I'll leave the top 3 then.
Okay. Because then we've got a little bit of excitement about what's going to happen. So that's 10 and 9. Be a Doom. I just love how fast it is. I've never played a first-person shooter that's as fast as Doom. Yeah, you can just whiz through it and kill things, and those type of kills called? Like special kills, where you can rip out the heart of things and smash things heads into 2 pieces. What are those called?
I don't know what the names they give. They're good though.
But yeah, it's just a really good game. I can't wait for the next one. I'm sure Doom 2 is going to come out. But yeah, I'll be playing that. Okay, in 8, we definitely have an 8. Is The Division. The Division, which has missed quite a few people's lists. So, Jordan, tell us, why did you like The Division? Because I loved it. I nearly platinumed it on the PS4, except for the PvP stuff. That's one of the reasons, actually, why it's not in the top 3, to be honest, for me.
I really liked The Division. I played I think they did an alpha and a beta, but I at least played one kind of demo tech thing. Really enjoyed it from that moment. When it came to the full game, it's really well put together. The third person combat is really solid. Rob is saying that glory kills.
Glory
what
kills.
They call it. Okay.
Yeah, in Doom. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, just a really tight, well put together game. It looks gorgeous on both PS4 and PC in terms of the winter New York stuff. Tons of upgrades for your guns. I think the really interesting thing was the Dark Zone stuff, where you're just walking around trepidatiously and you're not really sure if somebody's going to shoot you or if they're going to join up with you.
Yeah, the time I did actually go into the Dark Zone, it was very, very tense and stuff. But I'm not a trophy hunter, but if I'm really close to it, I think, okay, I'll try and get the platinum. But those are just not, I'd have to spend quite a long time in the Dark Zone. I don't think my nerves are up for that. Although they're expanding it now, actually, with the new updates. I like how they keep updating it. That's always good. Although the DLC, I've not been too impressed with.
I've got it installed on my PC, and I keep thinking, I'm going to go back, but when am I going to get time? It's the type of game. It's very, very akin to Destiny. I think that game was delayed, and I think it was because of Destiny. Because if you look at what that game came out as in terms of the loot drops and things like that, I think they learned a lot from Bungie in terms of how they launched their game. But I keep on meaning to go back to it. But when you can have the time, that's something that you play as your main game. And right now, I haven't really got time for that. But I think I'll go back to it at some point.
Yeah, I've got it on the PS4. I probably won't buy it on the PC just because it runs really well on the PS4. But I was saying in an earlier stream that Destiny and The Division also I'm really looking forward to Destiny 2 and The Division 2 because there's so much potential in both of them, and I think if they get it right the second time, then those 2 games are going to be incredible. Can't wait for those.
But like I said in the write up on the website, I think the reason I've got a lot of time for the Division, I put a lot of time into Destiny as well. But when that game came out, there just wasn't enough content for it. When Division came out, it definitely felt like more of a well-rounded, content-rich game.
Yeah. The actual gameplay as well in Division is amazing. I don't get people that moan about it being about the enemies being bullet sponges, because it's an RPG. They're like, oh wow, we're playing Final Fantasy VII and Cloud hit this guy 7 times with his sword and he didn't die. It's like, well, yeah, it's an RPG. You take off hit points. It's not the same as like a Destiny, where it's like a couple of headshots and they're dead.
I just tell myself they've got shields. It's fine.
Okay. Right, so that's the Division. Division is our number 7 game of 2016, which I'm happy. I'm happy it made it, because I spent many hours in the Division. It's a really fun game. I picked up all the intel. I nearly even finished the Underground one, that repetitive DLC. Okay, so number 6 is FIFA. No, it's not. It's Final Fantasy 16. No, 15. But it had 16 points. That's why it's confusing me here. But yeah, Final Fantasy 15 makes it at number 6. Go on, Jordan. You loved it, didn't you?
Yeah, I was quite surprised by it. I was quite pessimistic about the chances of Final Fantasy really resonating with me, just because of the length of time that it took to come out. I assumed it was made by committee in the end. I'm guessing they kind of chopped and changed a lot of that before they actually released it. But you know what? It came together. It's weirdly Japanese, which
but American at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not by any means up there with some of the better Final Fantasy games. But if you look at it in a vacuum, there's nothing really else like that game. I found it really relaxing to play, really feel good. The camaraderie that builds up between the three guys is really special. I think
Who's your favourite?
None of them. They're all dickheads.
Prompto is the best.
No, he's probably the most annoying one, I think.
I thought you'd think that.
Yeah, but in terms of like the stuff between the missions as well, where you just I liked kind of just being driven around between missions, listening to the music from the old games. I don't know. I've just got a lot of fond memories of playing that.
Yeah. I liked it. I like Final Fantasy games to be epic. Epic stories that you feel like you've been playing for ages, and then at the end you go back to the home place or the home base. Like in Final Fantasy X is a perfect example. You go back to Zanarkand quite near the end, and maybe that's just because I played it. Like the time I played it, I was quite young, and I played it over about 4 months or so. And going back there, I was like, oh wow, yeah, I remember being here. And then it all built up to the final ending. It just felt rushed, really rushed. And the first part, the open world part, was really good. I just wish there were maybe twice that amount of levels. There were 16 chapters, I think, in the whole game. I think 30 would be perfect. And then they don't even need to do a lot. They could just incorporate some quite interesting missions into it just to flesh it out a bit, rather than having to rely on side quests to do all this stuff.
Well, I was going to say there's a lot of side stuff to do, and don't get me wrong, I agree with you. This game pales in comparison to some of the better previous Final Fantasy games. You use the word epic, and you're absolutely right. If you look at what 7, 8, 9 did, this doesn't really come close in terms of the storytelling. I'd say that's probably one of the weakest aspects of this, is the fact that not only is the story, I think, probably generally weak, but what story is there? It assumes that you've watched an anime and read some comics, or watched some YouTube series and things like that. The actual meat of the story is buried in other content, which is pretty inexcusable, I'd argue. But again, siloing it off, not thinking about Final Fantasy as a franchise and not comparing it to the previous ones, and thinking about an experience that I played in 2016. Never really played anything like that game. I think the combat is on point.
Yeah.
That stuff came together really nicely.
Actually, it took a while to get used to it, but I enjoyed it in the end.
Yeah, it's not very challenging, which again is a bit jarring if you think about classic Final Fantasy games. They get really, really challenging, because obviously this is moving away from that kind of turn-based, more RPG style combat. It's more action-based, so yeah, generally it's going to be easier. How hard can you actually make that stuff? But yeah.
There's loads of stuff to do afterwards. Apparently, have you done any of that?
No, I got through the main campaign of that game. Did quite a bit of the side stuff. I took my time with that game. Really enjoyed it. But
Yeah, me too.
I know that there's a lot of stuff there that's kind of ripe for me to go back to, and I think they've got a lot of plans to support the game post release. So I'm going to kind of wait and see how that comes together, and then probably jump back in once all the stuff is released and get a second serving.
I will go. Yeah, I'm going to wait for all the DLC and then go back in, because I think most of the DLC is going to be like during the story. The guys you're with, they kind of disappear for different things, and it doesn't quite explain it what they're doing or what happened. But I think the DLC is going to explain that. But I don't know if that'll go back as like a dream, or if it'll be you have to replay the whole game to experience what they've done. But I'll probably end up doing another playthrough of it at the end of the year, when all the DLC's out. But I'm not going to play the DLC as it comes out.
Did you know that you can make the car fly?
Yes, I did know that, but I don't know how to. I haven't done it yet. Have you done it?
No.
I think that's something I will try and do, because that car drives like shit. You have more control over a ghost train, don't you? Than
I don't drive it myself. I get what's his name, Ignis, to drive it around for me.
Yeah, although he's a bit of a pussy, isn't he? Second it gets a bit dark. Oh no, I can't drive it, I'm afraid.
I think he will towards the end, like when you get into a certain level or something, you'll start driving around at night then.
Oh, okay. I stopped trying to persuade him, because I think we both finished with similar levels. I can't remember what it was, like 49 or something.
It's good though. I like it.
Yeah.
What's next?
Now we've got a draw, and it's one of yours that was on there and one of mine. So for the 5th place and 4th place, battling it out, The Last Guardian against Titanfall 2.
Okay.
Have you played Titanfall 2?
I haven't finished the campaign, but I've played maybe the first 2.5 hours.
Oh, it's not the longest campaign. Have you? I'm guessing you haven't got to the level yet.
I don't know what the level is, but
I'm just going to say one thing. If you click something.
No.
Okay, no. Well, honestly, if you play that level, that game will be in your top 10. It's okay. I wouldn't like to overemphasize it, but it brings stuff to first-person shooters that's new, and it hasn't been in since like Half-Life 2, that kind of thing. It introduces some mechanics that, games are going to copy. A bit like Shadow of Mordor brought in the system with the Nemesis system. This brings in some really interesting concepts, and just like honestly later levels. I finished the whole game actually in a day. I'm quite surprised you weren't as addicted as me and went straight through it all, but it's so good and it feels amazing. The bosses are great. I just love as well the fact that every level you're doing something different. It's not repetitive. It's not like Doom, you're killing monsters pretty much every level. With Destiny, you're killing aliens every level. With this, you're doing other things. You might have specific weapons that you're in a mech, so you're destroying other. Or you might have loads of boss battles against other mechs, which is later on. And I'll try not to spoil it for you, but pretty much every level has a different mechanic, and it uses it absolutely perfect. You don't get bored with what you're doing whatsoever for the whole game. And also the multiplayer is faultless, really. I'm one of those again. Like I told you earlier, I don't like games where you can see how well you've done at the end. Like Call of Duty, I prefer kind of Overwatch, and I think it's just Overwatch actually that's quite good like that. But no, this is, even if you do quite badly, you don't really care because you've just had so much fun, and you're guaranteed, if you've killed a few people, you're guaranteed to be able to call in your mech. And you're going to get some kills if you're in a mech, because you just like walk and stamp on people. It'll automatically kill them. So you never feel totally underpowered. But no, for me, Titanfall 2 could quite... I mean, I put it as number 3, but it could easily be my number 2 as well.
High praise. From everything I've heard and what I've seen myself of the game, I'm not going to disagree with anything there. In your point where you think that it's done something innovative, and you think that new games will kind of take those points on.
This one level that you're about to come up to, I think.
Yeah, I'm not playing it, but so
have you given up on it?
I'll play it at a later stage. But,
You can. I did the whole game in about 6 hours, if that.
yeah, I just how can one level what could it possibly be in that level that's so good that other games are going to want to copy it? Are you saying that Call of Duty next year is going to want to do this thing, or is it just a cool thing that you're never going to see again?
I think we might see it again. Well, do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I
you
do.
switch between, like you switch into the past and into the present,
So it's
and
just got,
so you're in a derelict, a smashed up, animal infested kind of laboratory, I think, or something like that. But you can hit the switch and you go back to when it's been run. So you've got to kind of use that to, and you can hit it and you can switch at the flick of a switch. So you could be like, for once, one of them is you're going. There's a fan on the floor, but it's in like the old days when it was all up and running. You obviously can't jump through because it's a fan. But the grate at the top's been smashed in the old days, so you have to click like 3 times, going through it to make sure you don't hit, and like you can kill someone in the past, and then when you go back to the present day, you actually see their corpse on the ground. It's
oh, that's
really,
cool.
really, really good.
Yeah.
And like
I'm,
the last level as well, you get a pistol, and let's just say it helps, and it's just you running so fast and using this pistol that's really it's got some help with it, but it's now for me Titanfall 2, the campaign, even the one at the beginning. If you've done the level where you're climbing, you're in a like a world made, like in a factory that's building world. I can't remember the story actually. Have you done that one?
I don't even think I've got that far, to be honest.
Okay.
But in terms of the time stuff, I was going to say that Dishonored 2 does something similar, but then when you said about you can kill somebody in the past and then their corpse is there in the future,
Mm.
that's pretty cool, and that's not something that Dishonored does. So fair enough. That sounds pretty interesting, and it's in line with what other people have said about the game as well. I'm very comfortable to let Titanfall beat Shadow, not Shadow, the
Which
Last
year is this?
Guardian. The
Yeah.
Last Guardian. That's absolutely fine.
Okay.
Just to give The Last Guardian its due. Don't spend a long time talking about it, but if anybody does like those previous games, especially Shadow of the Colossus, then there's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't love this. And again, considering the tortured development cycle of this, it's an absolute miracle that it's come together in the way that it did. And I challenge anybody to get to the end of that game and not find the last half an hour just absolutely beautiful.
I will play it because I've played quite a bit of it. Well, I've got to the bit where I was in a big circle and and my animal went a bit crazy.
Mm,
Is that very near the beginning?
that's the whole game.
Ah,
I see what you mean. Oh no, I know what you mean when he kind of turns against you. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
I'm
That's
there at the
that's
moment.
that's a decent bit into it, but yeah, just it's just one of those games, and I don't know if you'll ever see one of them again. And I think they're special. You've got Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, Last Guardian, and this one actually is more heavy on the story elements.
Okay.
There's a couple of cinematics throughout it, which kind of Shadow had a couple, and Ico had a couple throughout as well, but like really in-depth story stuff, especially the
Mhm.
ending. Yeah, there's a
Oh.
really heavy cinematic at the end, which
He
you're not used
dies,
to in those
doesn't
games.
he? Does he die?
I'm not going to say who dies and who doesn't in that game, but
Oh. Oh, who dies
you
and who doesn't? Oh.
you might be surprised. But
Okay.
really, really, really good, really, really strong.
Right. I will. We'll soldier through it. I've got quite a few games to get through, but that's definitely one I want to play.
And I just want to say the people bitching about the controls in that game,
Yeah, me.
um, what the fuck?
It's laggy.
Yeah,
You
but
you turn
not
even
every,
the camera's laggy. Like you turn the camera and it's half a second before it starts moving. I don't know. For me, lag really winds me up because once I've noticed it, I've noticed it for a long. I've really.
games used to feel different to each other, and that's something that we seem to be missing. Of that
Mm,
people want game. I think with Call of Duty, for instance, this yeah, really tight, really really well put together game, but it doesn't mean that every single first person shooter needs to feel that way. And it's the same with this game. Not every third person platform game needs to feel like Mario. I think we don't need to kind of look at a game and worry about the fact that the control scheme is slightly different. If you play enough games and if you play them long enough, you'll quickly learning.
Can't wait for them to
different jump
release.
button.
I can't wait for them to release a first-person shooter then that's like 2 second delay when you press things because it has a different controls.
No, that would be bad. And there's a line to be crossed, but I think I don't think it's a technical issue. That was a stylistic thing that they put into place.
I think you're right.
And it didn't phase me in any way. It's just this general thing that, oh well, the jump button's X. Well, no, the jump button isn't X. The jump button could be whatever button the developer wanted it to be, as long as it works.
Yeah.
I think we need to be careful about homogenizing game.
Okay. Right. So 10 Overwatch, 9 Doom, 8 The Division, 7 Final Fantasy 15, 6 was The Last Guardian, and our 5th top game of 2016 was Titanfall 2. Right now is number 4. It's not on your list, but it was my number 2. Firewatch.
Okay.
Did you play it?
Yes.
Oh, I loved Firewatch. It's, for me, people call it walking simulator, but they say that in a bad way. It's for me, that's a perfect genre, perfectly acceptable genre. It's
just interactive storytelling.
Exactly, and the story I thought was brilliant. Yes, okay, I'll start with the negatives. The ending was a bit unusual, although I can't see it ending any other way. Although wrapping up the mystery of what actually happened was a bit, hard to believe, but. I mean, the music was amazing. The movement around was amazing as well, especially like having to look at a physical map rather than having it just pinpointed on the screen where you are. I never felt like I was lost. I felt like I was going, I knew where I was going. But yeah, it looks stunning. It sounds stunning. The voice acting, as well as the actual script itself, was hilarious between the guy and Delilah. Is it Delilah? Yeah, and whatever the man... What was the guy called? Can you remember?
I don't know. Do they
Steve
give his
will
name?
say. I think so, because I think she says, "Hey, can you?" Or maybe she does. Maybe they don't. But yeah, no, it's a really deep story as well at the beginning, when he talks about what happened to his wife, why he's there, and then obviously speak to her and find out why she's there. And it's a really beautiful story, and I really enjoy playing it. And I want to play it again, and I probably will do when I'm really chilled and I just fancy relaxing. I might get it on Steam when it comes out, when it's really cheap, just to play through it again.
I definitely won't play it again. I think there's not much replay value there as far as
there's only the director's commentary, actually. I just remembered. I'll play it with director's commentary just to listen to what they're saying.
That could definitely add something. Yeah, that's probably the only reason I would replay that. I certainly wouldn't want to go through it again for the story, because I know what that story is.
Yeah.
I think this game suffered because they built up such a mystery around it before it came out. I
never fell into that, actually. I didn't really hear much about it because I don't know. I think I'd been busy with something.
It essentially became a meme online. What is Overwatch? Yeah.
Firewatch.
And then, sorry, yeah, we know what Overwatch is.
Yeah.
What is Firewatch? And when it came out, and as much as the story was a nice, human, quite beautiful in places story, it wasn't this great mystery, and that's what attracted me to that game. I was thinking, oh, what the fuck is going on in this forest? I really want to know. And assumedly there's something either supernatural or sinister that's going on, and it was slightly sinister, but there was nothing really mind-blowing. But what I did get out of it was that nice human story, and the ending wasn't Henry.
That's it. Thanks, Rob.
Fact checking, but I enjoyed it. To be honest, it didn't even come to mind when putting this list together. So that should probably tell you something. It was a little insubstantial to me, but
it hit some people. I think it definitely hit some people, and others not so much. So it's I know some people that put this like quite high in their top 10, and some people, a lot of people that just missed it out. I think it depends on the person.
I don't think it ever hits any kind of crazy peaks in terms of storytelling or in terms of emotions, and obviously that's subjective. I get that, but certainly for me, I thought it was lovely to look at. I thought it was very genuine, very 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 thoughtful.
It got really tense. There's a couple of parts where it really kind of freaked me out, and because you get hit in the head quite near the beginning, and so it kind of makes you feel a bit tense for the rest of the. I know other people have said this before, but you are on tenterhooks about whether this could happen again. So right at the very end when you're trying to leave, really, it's that you're going to be fine because it's just a game. It's not a game where you die, but it's still like the trying to get out, and I'm not going to spoil it too much, but it's really, I did find it quite tense trying to get to the exit as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I think it was difficult to build up any tension with me because playing that game and kind of getting an understanding of the engine it was running on, it was pretty obvious that you were never going to see another NPC in that game. You know, it was very much a static map that they put, you know, a camera in that you could walk around. I knew that nothing was ever going to attack me or anything like that, and that's probably me overthinking it. But that took away some of the tension. But you're right, at certain points it built up a little. But again, there was no peaks there for me. Nothing really hit me too hard.
Yeah, I see you that point. Although there was quite a few times where I was just playing it and thinking, you know, this is a really enjoyable game. I was really enjoying myself just playing it and soaking up the atmosphere and listening to the humour of Delilah and Henry, and that's one of the reasons why it was number 2 on my list. Okay,
Cool.
That was number 4. So now we've got the top 3, and number 2.
Rob's asking, did you save the turtle, by the way, before we move on?
No, I didn't find the turtle. That's why I want to play it again. Because they've got a few different modes now, actually, where you can do different things. Like there's a free mode where you can just walk around it. Like I imagine like you're one of the kids, and you can find all the little animals. Okay, now Jordan, we've got a problem here.
Oh boy.
Second and third have the same points.
I think the system's flawed.
It is flawed.
I understand. I understand now why you didn't want me to read through my list. I couldn't really understand why you were stopping me, but it's because then they would know from the points what's on the list, isn't it?
Yeah. So we're trying to make it a little bit of a surprise. Okay, so you can probably guess the 2 games that are on there. Dark Souls 3.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, well, we'll just eliminate it. And
No.
Hitman.
Ooh.
Ooh, so one of those is going to be number 2. The other one's going to be number 3. Go on, John, tell me, why is Dark Souls 3 better than any other Dark Souls or Bloodborne in the past? Because Bloodborne came second last year in our Game of the Year, and now this is it's the Dark Souls sequel. So go on, tell me, why is it so good, this terrible, terrible game?
It's not better than Bloodborne. I'll start off with that. That's a strong opening argument.
It's like me with Firewatch. Let's talk about the bad points first.
There's not that there's bad points, but Bloodborne is one of the best games ever made, so it's kind of difficult to. And they're very similar games. All the Dark Souls games, including Bloodborne, play in a very similar way. The reason Bloodborne is so amazing is because of the story, which I'll happily, I'll send you the essays if you need them.
That's all right.
Are you sure?
I've only got 3 terabytes on here.
So Dark Souls 3 is the most polished and feature-rich Souls game to date, which is why it deserves a place on this list. And nothing else still is doing anything like those games. Well, actually, other games are trying to do what those games do, and they never seem to pull it off. There's a lot of games that try to emulate it, and they don't come within a mile.
Yeah.
If you think about Lords of the Fallen, there's been loads of them.
That did quite well, didn't it?
No.
Oh, wasn't it? Oh, it was on PlayStation Plus, and people were saying it's quite a good game. What about Neo? Have you heard of Neo? Neo. I've heard someone was comparing that to Dark Souls. I don't know. I've not seen any of it.
So you can go and play the demo at the moment if you want to. It's like a last minute beta thing.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of Souls DNA in that. It's very close to it. But that game, I don't know too much about it, but it's been in development for a long time. And again, I'm assuming that they course corrected when Souls became as prevalent as it is right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very similar in concept in terms of very challenging map in front of you. If you kill an enemy, you get a certain amount of currency which you can use to level up. Eventually, you will die, and then you rinse, repeat until you get strong enough to overcome it and move forwards. So very, very similar to the Souls games. But to take it back to Dark Souls 3, like I said, best presented and most feature rich from a fan perspective. If you look at the community, they do tend to shit on it a little bit from a story perspective. A lot of people say that it's too referential of the first Dark Souls game. I don't, in terms of the lore stuff, I don't care too much about the Dark Souls lore. I just play it for the gameplay, so that stuff didn't really impact me, and the lore stuff is so buried and so deep that actually, unless you really know your stuff, that wouldn't be too apparent. To be honest, it all just seems like whimsical madness. Um, but in terms of the combat, in terms of the RPG elements and upgrading your person and overcoming a challenge, hitting your head against a wall 30 times in a row and then eventually managing to beat something, it gives you a sense of elation that no other games give.
Yeah.
But I can understand that. What was the other option?
Hitman. Oh, you said last week you said you bought it or you downloaded it. Have you
Yeah,
played any of it?
I've probably watched way more of that game than I've actually played. But yeah, I've done that first kind of training level.
Or did you do the 3 one, like until Paris?
I don't know I've got the full game. I own the full game, but I've played that like it's kind of based on a ship and everyone's an actor, that kind of thing. But I understand why people like that game, and I think I'm going to like it too. I need some time to put into it, and I think you can probably put a lot of time into that game. That's the thing.
Yeah, there's so much replayability. I mean, I don't want to. Pretty much a lot of what I'm saying has been said so many times before about Hitman, so I don't really have too much new to add. It's just, oh my god, that game I could play for. Someone could lock me in a room for a week and say, right, you can only play Hitman, and I'd still be having fun like 5 or 6 days into that, because you can just do there's so much you can do, and it's also just a fun game. Like there are games. Firewatch was another thing where I just sat down and I realized I was thinking, this is good fun. Same with Titanfall. This is good fun. Final Fantasy 15 or something. Division. Quite a few times when I was playing the the missions where you co-op with 4 people and this is really good fun, and they're the games that really did feel like that. But Hitman is just off the chart. Like you can do. I didn't even realize. I've been playing this. I played hours and hours of Hitman. I didn't realize that you could vault when you vaulted off a balcony. You hung from the other side. I thought it was just like you jumped to your death. So I never did any of that. And now that's opened up new things. One thing. The reason why for me it was my number one. It just cemented it in number one was the Christmas DLC, the free DLC where you got to kill the 2 guys from Home Alone. And you got extra points if you killed them dressed as Santa Claus, and they had to die in an accident. So I got them. I think I electrocuted them outside in a party, and you could just do whatever, like anything you want. I accidentally killed 3 people with an explosive rubber duck at one point because I didn't realize it was. It was a proximity mine. It was called proximity duck, but I just thought, okay. I'm not quite sure, but I just left it in a corridor, and then a woman was like, "Ooh, what's that?" Walked over to it, and blew her face off, and then I had to run for my life and kill someone and change clothes. And that's just the Paris mission. I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't played past the episode 3. I've watched it, obviously. There's quite a few funny quick plays of it, but now that game has so much, it's just got so many different options. Rob says hunted. Yeah, I get that sign quite a lot when I'm playing it. I'm not the best at stealth. But they've also said that they're going to bring out season 2, which I hope starts soon, but I'm guessing the end of this year. Maybe we might get something at E3. But yeah, that was, and also people have said before as well, Hitman. Who'd have thought that Hitman would be one of the best games of 2016?
Yeah, totally. That was a dead franchise in essence. I think it had 1 or 2. I suppose the resurgence started with the touch games. What are they called? Is it called Touch? Hitman Go. Yeah. So the resurgence started with that, but you'd assume that was just a cool little spin-off, and actually the main franchise would probably just go away.
Yeah.
And then for them to come out with this and the weird messaging around the way it was going to be released episodic and things like that, it seemed completely fucked. And then people love it, and to be honest, I'll be very diplomatic and happily put Dark Souls behind this, because I know that Dark Souls is just something that I personally like, and I know more people probably bounce off that game than will actually enjoy it. I'll certainly kind of finish it. So Hitman is a very special game over the last year, and I think for that season 2, can you imagine the hype that's going to be for that first level that comes out for the new Hitman stuff?
Oh, I can't
wait. They've created a bit of a franchise, I think, which is very, very impressive.
And this episodic game, I mean, there's a few types of games that work episodically, like there's Telltale games. You know, I mean, obviously people are excited when they come out if they're really into the story. But who'd have thought that this would work, and it works perfectly. And I've always known Hitman wouldn't ever go away, because like every time a Hitman game has come out in the past, it's been okay, it's been good, or it's been okay, or it's been disappointing. But there's so much potential. You're a Hitman, you get to disguise yourself, or you can have it. Or sometimes they've released Hitmans that are really serious, whereas this, I don't know, it just feels like it's fulfilled its potential.
Yeah, they moved away. You know, they did something brave, and they moved away from. If you look at what those previous Hitman games were,
Yeah.
they were very traditional AAA, third-person combat with stealth elements, narrative games.
Yeah, and they were very
It was
linear, weren't they?
Yeah, you know, if any replay, I'm sure there was replayability in terms of how you could complete the level. But if you wanted to do that, it was always going to be a weird case of, okay, well, go to chapter select, and you can go to this level, but there's going to be a bit of a weird cutscene here, and it wasn't really set up in that sandbox environment. And somebody a lot smarter than me looked at that game and said, actually, you know what? If this is going to be something that we're going to create and actually make money from going forward, we need to move away from this. This isn't working, and we need to do it. It doesn't necessarily need to be episodic. I don't know what that adds to anything really, but certainly we need to release a game which is multiple levels of sandbox environments with different routes to success. And
I disagree with you. I think the episodic is brilliant. It's genius, actually. I mean,
what does that add though? What's the difference between having everything in one?
because are you going to replay levels? Are you going to replay levels if they release? Okay, here are how many episodes were there? 6, I think. So here are 6 levels. You can play them how you want. You're going to go through them. You're going to spend a weekend playing them, and then that's it. But the fact that they released them like every 6 weeks. Okay, episode 1 came out. People played it. Like, well, that's great. But look at all these accomplishments. I can play it again and try and do this, and I can play it again with this. And okay, now they've released a 48-hour special target, whatever it's called. I'm going to go and try and kill him. It's just there's so much you can do with a level, and then by the time you've stopped playing it for a few weeks, oh great, the second one's coming out, and you do rinse repeat. And not only that, like when the episodes do come out, they've been getting really good reviews, and review sites are reviewing every single episode as like it's a different game, so it's staying in the press. It's been brought to everyone's attention every time a new one comes out, and the constant, the new Hitman's out, this level's really good as well. It's really helped the game itself, and I think that's one of the reasons why it's been renewed for season 2. And I heard rumours that season 3 might even be in the works as well, so they really are sticking to this franchise. And I think, well, do you remember the trailer for it, E3? Obviously not last year, the year before.
Yeah.
The really slick one. When I saw that, I thought, I'm going to get into this game just from this trailer, and it didn't disappoint. But I really hope they're going to release a season 2 trailer at E3 this year.
So to go through your points about the episodic stuff, I agree from a marketing point of view. It's been great, and that was going to live or die on the quality of the game. Is if your game is going to be episodic, but actually the episodes are shit, then all you're going to have are bad reviews coming out every month or so. In this instance, it was a good game, so yeah. You're right. It kind of kept it in the kind of mind share of gamers. Totally get that, and that works out. But in terms of how people kind of take in the content, no, I disagree. If you release 6 levels but they're worth replaying, I think people will play them anyway. For me personally, I find episodic stuff frustrating. Yeah. I get you trying to make an event around it, but I think you can. It's like saying that Destiny should have, there wasn't enough content there anyway, but it should have just released Earth and then Mars, and then a month later released Venus. You give all the content at once and then let people decide at the pace that they want to go through it. But
I think it depends on the replayability. I don't think Destiny had the replayability of Earth. But I mean, nowadays though, games kind of only really succeed if they're, if they're constantly evolving, they're constantly having events, and they need the money, and that's why like microtransactions. Although you can't get microtransactions on Hitman, maybe that'll come in next time, but. They're every weekend they've got, so not every weekend, but every month there's I think there's 4 events actually every month, and they're still doing it now even though they've released all the DLC. Elusive Targets, that's the name. So they come out. There's also the contracts where you can make your own contracts, but you can only make them obviously for the levels that have been released. I just think it's a really good way of keeping it and keeping people interested for that length of time. And I don't know, yeah, like I think that if all six missions had been you're right there. I think if all 6 missions had been out at the same time, Ahmed's asking. So we're having Jordan's replying to the trolls in the chat. I think if they released the 6th episode, I'd have played the first one, play the second. I'm the type of person that plays and finishes a game and doesn't really go back to it. I get sidetracked easily, but this I treat pretty much every one as a separate game. But because they're kind of short, you can go into the game blind and you can finish it within. Well, you can finish the level within an hour and a half, or maximum 2 hours. But there's so many other ways that you can do it. You can just go back, and I like showing people as well when people are coming around, playing Hitman with them, and just saying, "Oh look, I can kill this person by that," and getting them to shout, "Wait, chuck him over the balcony." It's just a fun game.
Yeah, I get it. And like I said, from a business perspective, yeah, I think it made total sense. It differentiated that game. I think if you think about the messaging of the game early on, a lot of people thought, okay, they've got no faith in this franchise, so that's why they're not doing a big AAA release. They're actually gonna whittle it down, make it episodic, which is just trying to get money out of people. But what it actually did was reframe that game, and actually, yeah, probably in a lot of ways, it's a smaller scope game. But we're going to sell her in this particular way, and it's probably, what was it like for the complete package day one? What, like £30? It wasn't like a full price deal, was it?
Full price. I don't know. Actually, it was maybe 30 or 40.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
It wasn't like your £60 type.
No, I don't think it was. No.
I
got the first. I think I upgraded after playing because I got the the intro. Yeah, that's it. The intro pack, and it was like £13, £15 or something, and then I upgraded. But yeah, it's €50 now. That's full price, €50. So that's a bit cheaper because normally it's 70 or 60 for a full game. The annoying thing is Gus, and this is mainly because of people who are on Steam, but people hate episodic games, and I think the internet's full of hate. I mean, I'm sure on another future podcast I'll moan about this a lot, because on the internet, on Facebook, on review sites and stuff, it's just people moaning. They love to moan. Gamers are the biggest moaners I've ever witnessed on the internet. They just moan about everything, and that's caused the Hitman reviews to be mixed overall. But recent is mostly positive, and pretty much every new review on there is just like great. Although then now it came out that. You had to be online to have certain things on there, because I mean it's got elusive targets and other online things. So yeah, kind of if you want your progress saved, then it needs to be online. But as soon as that was a thing, then they actually they changed it so you didn't have to be, and you could play the whole thing offline and you'd keep everything. But it's still loads of people whining and just giving negative reviews with let's have a look. Negative. He's played 20 hours, 15 hours, 3 hours, just giving lots of negative reviews because you have to be online, even though it affects maybe 1% of the people who play it.
Yeah, don't read public comments or public reviews would be my advice.
Exactly. Usually the best place to see reviews is Reddit. And go I mean it's a lot more positive, and they give the positive aspects. Just sort comments by best, not by controversial. I mean, it shows. Hitman recent, mostly positive. 77% of reviews in the last 30 days are positive.
Okay.
It's slowly climbing up, and I'm sure Series 2 will be popular as well.
So we're saying Dark Souls 4, Hitman 3, is it?
Yeah, I think we're going to go for that. I think the same happened actually with Rainbow Six, because then when they found out that it was the levels were going to be released every now and again. Oh, actually, no. Recent and overall is very positive. Okay. So, our number one game, Jordan. Can I have a drum roll, please?
Have we done number 2? So what was number 2?
Number 2 is Hitman, yeah?
I thought was that not 3 and 4? That was 3 and 2, was it?
Yeah, 4 was Firewatch. I'll run down the top 10 again.
Okay, fine. So number 1. Okay.
Overwatch is at number 10, and number 9 we've got Doom, a new entry climbing from 19. 93. Division is at number 7, and number 6 we've got Final Fantasy 15. Number 10, 9, 8, 7. No. Let me go back. Overwatch 10, Doom 9, Division 8, Final Fantasy 15 was 7. Number 6, The Last Guardian. Number 5, Titanfall 2. Number 4 was Firewatch. And number 3 was Dark Souls 3. And our runner-up game of the year is Hitman. However, we have a number 1 Arnie. Arnie? Jordan. I miss Arnie. I'm sorry. The number 1 game of 2016 from the Click Click Play is Uncharted 4, A Thief's End.
I tried to do a drummer.
You just ruined it then, didn't you? Never mind. It's Uncharted. Uncharted is our game of the year. But I think I put it as quite low down. Number 4.
So what was it? I think number 2 for me, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's exactly the same as last year, isn't it? The winning game isn't a game that we put as number 1, but it's like a consensus that it was a really good game. What was number 1 last year?
I don't know.
I'll have to think.
Shows how much we cared.
Yeah. What was it last year?
Don't know.
If anyone can help. Rob, I'm sure you were listening. But anyway, yes, number 1, Uncharted. Why do you like Uncharted?
Funny story. Normally I don't, or at least I didn't. You know, when Uncharted blew up on PS3, and it was like, oh my god, Uncharted 2, man, it literally changed video games. Uncharted 2, it kind of it wedded action gameplay with cinematic. What would traditionally be cinematic events in games, which would then move into kind of combat scenarios. It kind of wedded the two. And that's prevalent. When I was playing Mass Effect 3 earlier, I was kind of thinking there were certain bits where I was like, yeah, you can tell at this point Uncharted 2 would come out and kind of change the game, because every other game tried to step it up and become a little bit more cinematic. But I never played it on PS3. Never really appealed to me. Didn't like the whole Indiana Jones shtick. Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time. So I had a lot of respect for Uncharted and that studio and what they were doing, and certainly the mass market appeal that they were bringing to PlayStation. As a PlayStation fanboy, I quite appreciated that, but never really felt the need to play those games. When 4 was on the cards, I kind of felt I owed you a little bit to that franchise to say, okay, I definitely want to play 4. It's going to be the swan song, but I need to go through the previous games. So I got the collection, went through those in a couple of days, really enjoyed them. Which wasn't a surprise, because I knew the caliber of those games. Don't regret my decision not to play them on PS3, because I think I had other things to play. They certainly don't kind of blow my socks off. But when it came to 4, it was definitely worth playing those older games to get a sense of the characterization, but 4 just went way beyond in terms of the story that it told. It was way more mature than the previous games, and not in a really dark, kind of macabre Last of Us way, but just mature human storytelling, the interactions between the characters, and it's essentially about a bit of a midlife crisis and a marriage on the rocks. That's what that game is about,
Yeah, the story is brilliant. Yeah, perfect.
From beginning to end, and from a technical perspective, what that game does on a PS4, that's up there with one of the best looking games I've ever played, and I mean that across the spectrum, from high end PC games to whatever console you want to talk about. That is a ridiculously good looking game, and it's a combination of fantastic art style, and then obviously just from a technical perspective, Naughty Dog are just unparalleled.
No, I just loved it, and I can't wait for the DLC to come out.
Yeah, that looks interesting. Is it DLC or is it like a standalone deal?
I think standalone DLC, a bit like The Last of Us had that prequel. Last of Us is one game I'm gonna definitely finish this summer at least, because I've played it like 3 times, but just couldn't have got sidetracked. But now I've got it on PS4 with my PS4 Pro. Although I don't know if it runs as well on Pro as the normal one. I'm gonna blast through it. But it's now Uncharted just feels amazing. Even the multiplayer, I played not that long, maybe 2 hours of it, but that was quite fun. Have you played any of it?
No, I don't care about the multiplayer, but
It
like
feels
even
really good, doesn't it? Like it feels like you're in a movie and you're playing a movie.
yeah,
It's not like a walking simulator game like Firewatch where you're progressing the story. Well, Firewatch is like a walking book. You need to use your imagination a little bit. Whereas Uncharted, you don't need any imagination whatsoever. It
no,
just presents the whole thing for you.
absolutely. I always think of Uncharted and The Last of Us to a degree. If there's somebody that I need to show why video games are important and why video games are, in my opinion, better than films, I would sit them down and not necessarily make them play, because if they've never played a game, they're going to probably struggle. But I
Yeah.
would certainly make them watch me play Uncharted, probably four.
Poor sods.
I think whatever their thoughts on games, they'd struggle not to find the writing endearing and the characters really good.
Yeah, Uncharted 4 is brilliant like that, and I'm definitely happy that that's our number one. I do remember what was number one last year.
What is
Was
that?
Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah,
Yeah, 5, The Phantom Pain. I still haven't finished it. That's another game
yeah.
I'll get through.
You can tell this is a podcast that Jordan Reese is involved with, because Metal Gear Solid has been a game of the year. Brilliant.
Yeah, I think, although I really think The Witcher should have probably got it last year.
No, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. And Metal Gear Solid 5 wasn't even finished, so yeah, it's maybe I can't remember how hard I fought for that. Or was it just a numbers thing? Was it?
It was one of those where neither of us put it as number one, but it came top, just like today.
And I think I hadn't fallen in love with Witcher at that point either, because I'd finished it but kind of rushed. It was the first PC game that I had with my new PC, and I wanted to play, like, I was like, oh my god, I can play like Half-Life 2.
Oh, really?
So
Yeah,
so
I've done that.
Rushed through it. But
There's a few games I'm like, oh yeah, I can play this really badly optimized game, but I can actually play it. Kind of like Starbound for that as well.
But then this year I went back to Witcher, to the same file, and just went around doing all the side stuff, and then did the DLC, and I was like, oh my god, this game is so good.
I'm gonna
So
add
good.
it to my wish list because I kind of want to play it on the PC as well. With the controller, yes, but I bet it looks amazing on the PC.
It is lovely.
Is it better than the PS4?
Oh yeah.
Oh, the PS4, I was going through, is it Novigrad, the big place? At the big city? I remember going around there and yeah, it just kept glitching out all the time. My map was going black. It was really struggling. But, so, our game of the year is Uncharted 4, Thief's End. And our game of last year, not game of 2015, because we've already given that, the game of last year, the game that we should have given number one was The Witcher. But... Oh, this
Metal
is
Gear.
this is Click Click Play. We could always go back and say no. The Click Click Play game of last year was The Witcher. But no, I think
Metal Gear Solid 5.
Metal Gear Solid 5 was a good game.
It's a fantastic game. Imagine how good that game would be if they'd finished it.
Well, I haven't got to the end yet, so I'll wait for that disappointment. Okay. Right. So let's move on to. Are we doing Switch or games of this year?
I think. Well, let's quickly talk about the Switch then. I think it's 11 o'clock here. I've got work in the morning, so let's not.
Gone midnight here.
Let's not go on for. Yeah, but it's Spain. People are probably still, bloody out drinking beers in the streets and eating.
I start
whatever you eat.
work. I start work tomorrow at 5:45 p.m.
Fucking Spain. No wonder you're in the trouble financially. Anyway, so Switch then. So I've got a confession.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked last week about the fact that I pre-ordered a Switch, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then I talked about the fact that I cancelled my pre-order.
Yes.
I've now pre-ordered the Switch again.
Oh, well, you probably got my pre-order because I cancelled my pre-order. Because last week I had one pre-ordered, and now I looked at the games that were out and thought I can wait till my birthday, which is
There
in
are no
June.
games.
Exactly, no games. And Breath of the Wild, I'm not even going to get on the Wii U because I'm going to wait until my birthday in June.
I just want to play Zelda.
But you can play Zelda on the Wii U. Oh, you don't have a Wii U, do you?
Fuck the Wii U.
If the Switch could play Wii U games, I think it would sell a lot.
Well, it hasn't got a disc drive, so.
Has it not?
No, it's cartridge based.
Of course, yeah. Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah. So my plan is I'm going to get one, and I'm going to get Zelda physical, like a cartridge, and that will and that I'll just put that into the cartridge because
Leave
it's
it
just a
there.
joke, isn't it? You got 32 gig of storage on there, so I don't want to take half of it with Zelda. So I'm going to just plug Zelda into the cartridge slot and never open it up ever
Oh, but you
again.
can get an external SSD though, can't you? Not SSD, what it's called,
You can replace
micro
them, yeah.
SD.
You can get like 128 gigs for like 30 quid or something. So yeah, that's fine. But still, I'm just going to put Zelda in there physical, and then if and when other games come out that I want to play on that system, I will download them. But I'm too much of a nerd. I need to have that console in my hands on day one.
Okay, I can understand that, but no, I can't. I can't justify it for me. Just
Neither
like
can I.
I'll get it, but it's what here it's 400. No, it's €320. Plus, I also want one of the game pads. I don't want the little
Yeah.
fiddly things, and also I want Zelda, and I also want like the game when it comes out, Splatoon 2. But I think Splatoon's not coming out till the summer, so yeah, I'm gonna wait, but I will get it in June, so it'll be only about 3 months late.
So it was like £275 for the console, which I think is pretty decent for the console itself. That's that's
a little bit pricey.
Everything about it is, the fact that it's the first time they've done something like that, where it's a conventional home television console, but you can actually pick it up and use it as a portable. I think that's going to cost a little bit of money, but it's 270 quid. I remember consoles. What was the PS3 when it first came out? It was like 500 quid. I don't think it's too bad.
Xbox One was as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, but when you factor in if you want to get bigger hard drive space, another 30 quid. A game is 50. And that controller is in the UK. I paid £65 for that, which is expensive. But then I'm done.
I've heard it's a really good controller though.
Well, it's probably
feels amazing.
It's probably just up to scratch with the other two, isn't it? I can't imagine it's any better or any worse. But yeah, I'm looking forward
to the Xbox One. I did buy an Xbox One controller for Windows because I didn't want to use the PS4 because the Xbox One controller feels so good. Yeah, so anything else about the Switch? Apart from the fact there's no games, there's Zelda, and then there's some other stuff.
There's nothing, it's all shit. But yeah. I just love the hardware, love the look of the hardware. But yeah, the release schedule is limited to say the least. But you know what? It's going to be this. Instead of it being the kind of Nintendo returning to the mainstream that we all hoped it would be, and it becoming like an actual competitive console, I think it's just going to be another Wii U in terms of, okay, well, buy the console and you'll get 2 Nintendo games a year.
Yeah.
Which, okay, and then hopefully after that they just go third party. But
I'd love to see Nintendo on PC.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll ever do that? They've got plenty of money.
I think they should. I think they need to get out of the hardware space. Certainly, I think they could get away with another kind of DS version, but in terms of if this is their stab at the home market, then no. Clearly, the third party support isn't there, and they're not going to generate the sales that they want. And based on the conference, they clearly have delusions that they can capture that Wii market again and sell another 100 odd million consoles. It's not going to happen. I'd be surprised if this one sells well. If this is going to be primarily a home console, I'll be surprised if it sells 20 million. If it does actually make the transition to it's the new portable, then who knows where it's going to sell, because it's a Nintendo portable and it's going to have Pokemon and it's going to have all those cool games.
Yeah, it'll have the portable games like what's it called? Yeah, Pokemon and like those type of games, Picross and what's the other one? Monster Hunter, those type of stuff. They're not going to release another handheld. Probably not ever, or at least until this one has died out.
Which does make me feel a little bit better about the purchase, because I'm just thinking, well, it's essentially they're amalgamating their home and portable consoles. So there's probably going to be a lot of games over the course of it, and a lot of them cool portable touch games, I imagine. So no, I'm comfortable with it. And the trailer for Zelda that was at the end of the conference, I'd cancelled my pre-order the day before, and then I watched the conference in full, and they showed that trailer, and I was like, oh no, I've made a massive mistake. I need to play this game.
You got in there before they sold out.
Yeah, so I found a retailer that still had them for day one. So
I'm slightly
hopefully
annoyed
it should
actually.
be good.
I was slightly annoyed because I had an email like a few days after I pre-ordered it saying that the date has been changed and I would actually receive it on the 2nd instead of the 3rd. So I was like, oh, I could have had it a day early as well.
Hmm.
But no, I don't. I'd have played Zelda on it and then I'd have eaten beans for the whole month. So
Yeah,
it
it'll
just
be interesting.
wasn't worth it.
We'll see what happens in the next year or so with Switch. But
Mm.
based on that, based on what they were talking about, I do worry. But
Yeah,
you know,
it's perfect for me
if
taking it to work. That's the number one reason. If it wasn't portable, then I'd have probably waited till maybe Christmas or something. So, Rob says, so do the math, and for a suitable setup for Smash, so console, game, and 3 extra controllers, it's about £600.
yeah,
But yeah, those little Joy-Cons, which I hate the name of, those Joy-Cons are going to be quite pricey as well, aren't they? They're similar to the Pro Controller price.
yeah, but you don't need to buy one because you get it with the
Mm.
console. But
Just
yeah,
don't lose
to
them.
replace them, yeah, don't lose them. And I guess in terms of that Smash Brothers calculation, I guess that's assuming that you're kind of playing couch competitive. Whereas I think my dream is that they release a Smash Brothers game that I can play online. They did it with the Wii U one, and it was shit, to be honest. It wasn't very. I don't know what the word is, but the network stuff wasn't great. And ideally, if they can just give me that Wii U version of Smash with robust online functionality, happy days.
I don't get Smash. I need to sit down with it and try and understand it and what I have to do.
Smash Bros is probably the game that I'm best at.
Oh, okay. Well, won't ask you to show me then.
I'll show you. All
Okay,
right.
so
Should we move to the 2017 stuff?
yeah, but just one thing, Splatoon. Well, that might even come up in the 2017 stuff, but I can't wait to play that game. Splatoon 2. Have you played the? Oh, you won't play the original because you. Oh no, but you had a Wii U for a short while, didn't you?
About 3 weeks.
Did you play Splatoon?
No.
You might have kept it if you had. It's great.
No.
Okay, yeah, let's move on to games that are coming out this year.
Okay, so I'm going to run through the wiki page for 2017 in video gaming. I'll mention anything that I think is noteworthy or that looks interesting, and you can chip in. So, got January, lots of weird Japanese shit that I don't care about. Now, there's a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Mega Battle game that came out a few days ago, apparently, and I saw it on PSN earlier. Very eager to know if that's any good.
Did you buy it?
There it is. No, because I'm guessing that it's crap.
Yeah.
But I wish Power Rangers was good.
Well, I never really got into it.
Not even just in terms of games, but just that new film looks terrible. I loved Power Rangers as a kid.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that like I wish they would just. They don't even need to pay me. I would happily write like a Power Rangers script and tell them like this is what you need to do to make it.
Yeah, make
Power Rangers relevant. Yeah, make it relevant. Anyway, Dragon Quest VIII: Journey of the Cursed King. That's on 3DS though. We don't care about that, do we? Do you care about that?
No, I think Dragon Quest Builders was a good game, though I haven't played it.
That was a good game. I'd recommend that. Have you got a Vita?
Somewhere. I think it's the same. Let me see. Yeah, I think it's in a. I think I put it in a suitcase when I moved house about 6 months ago, and I've not taken it out.
It's on PS. It's 1-for-1 on Vita and PS4, but it is a cool little portable game.
I was hoping it'd be up for sale over the. I was hoping like it would be on sale over Christmas, but it never was. I don't think.
No. Gravity Rush 2 came out 2 days ago, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one I thought was no.
Yeah. It looks really nice running on PS4. So but I'm going to wait for that one to be cheap. And also for the reviews to all kind of land and see exactly
the reviews
how that's
are not
shaping up.
the reviews are not good for that.
No,
I think they've said it's quite boring, and you're doing fetch quests like even halfway through the game.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
No.
Okay, we've got coming out today, Don Bradman Cricket 2017.
Oh, we'll have to try and get a code for that and do a quick play.
As a Yorkshireman, I'm sure you know who Don Bradman is.
I think he's Australian, and I think he
Okay,
died about 100 years ago.
Awkward.
Definitely dead, I'm sure.
So apparently out this week is Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue.
It's just a parody of itself, isn't it?
So
he was born 100 years ago, but he died 15 years ago.
fuck him. So, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue is a collection of the Kingdom Hearts series, developed and published by Square Enix for the PlayStation 4. So what has it actually got?
Because I've always call it collection. That's so much easier.
I've always wanted to get into these. So is this going to give me like the first and second game? Is it?
Possibly.
Is that what this is? So
It's quite a fun game.
Let me tell you what games this has got. It comes with Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD. Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage.
That's a euphemism.
Yeah, it's like me after a curry that. Kingdom Hearts X back cover. So has it not got one and two in there?
Bad translations from the Japanese name, or is it? Do they just have these stupid names? I'm sorry, it's a stupid name.
I think it's purposeful. Yeah, they just have mental names. But so I'm desperately trying to work out on this page. Is this going to give me like the two Kingdom Hearts games or not?
Does it say Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2?
No, it says those games.
Okay, so no is the answer, I think.
Okay, I'm just going to ignore that then.
Whatever. I think they're all the games that were released since Kingdom Hearts 2 came out.
Yeah, I think they might be like DS games or something like that.
Yeah, sound like mobile games.
Fuck that then. So, also on the same day, Resident Evil 7, Biohazard.
That's tomorrow. That's today. We're in where I am. I'm a day ahead of you right now.
Yeah, but in the real world, that's going to be on the 24th. Really?
Oh, it's 24th? Oh, sorry, I thought it was 23rd.
24th according to Wiki.
Wow. Yeah,
I'm guessing this is probably based on the US market, but
no, it's 23rd. It's always Tuesday when they update the business.
Yeah, spot on. It's weird, isn't it? Because it's called Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and Biohazard is the name for Resident Evil in Japan. So that's a bit of an odd one.
Oh, is it? I don't know. But it's for me the big set. If it didn't have the VR, I'd have been like, "Yep, that's great. I might watch somebody play that." But nah. But the fact that you can play this entirely in virtual reality just makes me think, yeah, this game is going to be fun.
So are you aware that I'm a massive Resident Evil fan?
No, in fact, I've never met a Resident Evil fan, a big Resident Evil fan.
Well, I am one.
Are you one of those that's like, oh my god, it's in first person?
No,
this is not Resident Evil. Like everybody on Facebook comments says. This isn't Resident Evil.
What is Resident Evil then?
It's Dire from the last game I heard. Actually, no, I played Resident Evil 1, the demo, a few times.
The demo of as in the classic PlayStation 1 game?
Yeah. I had the demo and I played that a few times.
That's gay?
It was fun.
Yeah. Don't think that's what they were going for, but fine.
I hear this is just like that.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. So, as a massive fan, I'm still waiting to see how, because this is obviously a numbered release. There's a lot of Resident Evil games, but they don't always put a number on it. Yeah, so if they slap a number on it, that's obviously part of the core series. I'm still waiting to see how this game kind of ties into this huge sprawling lore that the previous 6 core entries have created. Because so far can't see it, and I worry because Capcom
fucks things up.
Well,
it did with Street Fighter 5, didn't it? Wasn't it?
They fuck things up, but they also don't. They don't seem to care.
Was it the last Resident Evil that came out like episodic? Didn't they come out with an episodic game?
Yeah, but that wasn't part of the kind of core series. So that was Revelations, originally a DS game. So just a kind of side deal. But it's weird that this is a numbered one. It's weird that it's got Biohazard in the name. So like I said, that's the Japanese title. And also, as much as it's a change of perspective, it's a first-person game and it's different. People say it's gone back to the survival horror roots. Well, no, this doesn't really seem really like survival. I know it's a horror game, but what's the survival aspect? You might get killed. It's not the kind of. It doesn't seem like it's going to be the resource management that you've had in the older titles. But we'll see. I've bought it. It's Resident Evil. I've played a lot of shit Resident Evil games. So if this is even average, then I'm a winner.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely. I won't buy it unless it has good reviews. If people say, "Oh no, the VR is terrible," then obviously I won't buy it. Or if I do buy it, I'll buy it on PC. Because if it's great, but the VR is terrible, I'll buy it on PC. If they say it's great and the VR is great, I'll get it on PS4. And if they just say it's bad, yeah, I'm not going to play it.
That's fair. On the same day, and this is a game that has only really I've known of the series and I knew this game was coming, but in terms of when it's coming out and me getting a little bit excited for it has only probably been this week as Let's Plays and things like that have started to surface. Yakuza 0, Ben.
Yeah.
Not
It
not
doesn't
fast.
really interest me that much, no. I know there's a big fan base, but
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm-
If it gets very good reviews, again, I might take a look at it.
it's just such an oddity, isn't it? And I've just heard of this franchise for years and years, and there's not many franchises that I haven't at least played one game of.
Yeah.
And from looking at a Let's Play recently, it seemed decent. It seemed well put together. I think it was originally a PS3 game in Japan, and this has now been ported over.
Yeah.
So maybe a little rough around the edges, but what I saw looked decent. But I'm gonna wait and see what happens with that one. Moving later into the month, then
What, this month or next month?
no, this month still.
Okay.
There's a few bits and pieces. Disgaea 2, but I never really know what those games are, so unless you know, I'll just ignore that.
Nope, no idea.
Yeah, there's a Digimon game out. Does that appeal to you?
No, I was more of a Pokemon person.
You're yeah, okay, I was gonna say you're a bit younger than me, so maybe you were one of those weird Digimon fans, but
Nah,
that's
that
fine.
was... I'm not that young. We had
There's
Pokemon.
There's a Dynasty Warriors game, Dynasty Warriors God Seekers.
Yeah, again, it's something that skipped me by. Never really played them. Apart from
Yeah.
the odd demo when I was a kid.
You haven't missed much. The Flame in the Flood is coming to PS4. I remember that coming out on PC and probably Xbox sometime last year. That seems okay.
What is it?
Right. As far as I'm aware, top down, you're on a raft going down a river. I think it's kind of a linear narrative based game. I don't know if there's like a survival aspect or anything like that, but quite heavily stylized.
That looks interesting. 15 euros. Might have a look at that then. A roguelite river journey through the backwaters of a forgotten post-societal America.
So there's like a survival aspect to it.
Forage, craft, evade predators.
Maybe I'll give that a go at some point.
I'll put that on my wish list.
Moving into February, we've got Fire Emblem Heroes, which is going to be on
mobile,
Emblem
isn't it?
Heroes. Yeah.
I've got Fire Emblem Fates. I played a bit of it when it goes. I used to play my 3DS quite a bit when I was commuting to work, like an hour and a half each way every day. So since I moved quite close to my work, I've not been doing it. I did neglect that game, even though it's a really good one. I really do like Fire Emblem Fates. It's an intelligent, kind of tactical chess kind of game.
Yeah. I've been eager to play one of them. I never have, and maybe I know it's coming to Android first, so I might give that a bash. There's Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World for 3DS. I'll move on quickly from that.
A new Woolly World.
Okay. Yeah, who cares? WWE 2K17, Ben, is out on the 7th of February.
Oh, for PC.
For PC, indeed.
Yeah, I got burned with the PS4 version of that. It's just crap. Have you played it?
No, I haven't played a wrestling game in maybe 10 years.
Oh, wrestling games can be fun. I think 15 was okay, but oh god, it took me forever to get the championship. You've got to have like 3 different types of sets of battles with people to go up one in the rank. So after about 6 hours, I managed to win the NXT championship, and I was like, yeah, fuck this.
I'm trying to decrease the amount of wrestling in my life, so by introducing it into video games, that's probably not.
Although Royal Rumble next weekend, I will be watching.
Yeah, it's that time of year where wrestling becomes good again. But
yeah, that's the only time I watch it. Royal Rumble, then I go, oh, this is interesting, and I watch maybe 2 more episodes and then I might watch WrestleMania. That's about it. Nothing else.
Yeah. We've got Neo on the 9th of February, which you mentioned earlier, which is that kind of Dark Souls-esque game, which I've got a BDI on, and again, if it comes out and there's really strong reviews for it, I'll be all over that like a rash.
Yeah, I think I don't think I'll bother with that.
A game that I am interested in is For Honor. Have you played that yet?
That game I will buy. In fact, I'm gonna
for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, it is. It's also on the beta is available in about 2 days. If you're registered, if you're not registered, it's not too late. But you can register, and I think pretty much everybody gets in it.
I played the previous one, so I know what that game is.
Okay.
And I think it'll just come down to I like it, and I just need to know is the overall package good?
Is it worth it? Maybe.
Is it good end to end? I guess I know the in the moment combat is stuff I will like. It's almost like a more complicated Dark Souls really, because there's different stances and things like that. But is the overall package great? And I won't know that until I see reviews. So it's definitely on the maybe. I
really look forward to that. want to play because a lot of it isn't it online, or a lot of it's online.
Yeah, the single player is kind of just a tutorial, kind of like
Okay, good.
the initial
Rainbow
what was the
Six, I
game?
suppose.
Yeah, probably Rainbow Six and Titanfall's first game was like kind of had a single player, but it was very much a tutorial.
Okay.
Yeah, For Honor seems really cool though, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's probably gonna be my game of February.
Like I love melee combat in games, and especially when it's done right. And
Yeah.
this is going to be a competitive online
And a
kind of
good
melee combat, and if it
Yeah.
works, I'll be all over that. I'll play that.
And
all the
I want
time.
where you can have a kind of an epic battle with someone, and like you can. I don't know how long it's going to be when it's the PvP. How long a melee can be, if it's 1 minute, if it's 10 seconds, or 5 minutes. I don't know, but I can just feel that if you have a real slog, and after a minute or so you win, or even if you lose, it's just like wow, that was good. And I can just tell that that's what it's going to be like. But I will play the beta with an open mind and see if I'm right. Hopefully it will.
Yes.
It does look very good, and I'm one of those people that likes Ubisoft. So
I'm getting there. I'm starting.
Yeah.
They're doing okay. Halo Wars 2 on the 21st. Interested in that?
is that
I
the
don't
PC
care
one?
about it. It's going to be on Xbox and PC. Yeah.
I think I'll avoid that. What
Yeah, me
about
too.
Sniper Elite 4?
Oh, you're on the list as well.
I know I'm on Games Radar because I was just looking
Okay.
at the major ones.
The Sniper Elite 4 actually looks decent. The previous games have been quite limited. It sounds like they're really ramping it up with this game, but I'm kind of, again, just waiting to see how that plays out. But
Yeah.
I do like sniping in games, so if they do it well, and it isn't just kind of, right, you sit in this position and... Oh, it's a dog.
Yeah, 1 second. I will keep talking. I will mute.
So with Sniper Elite, yeah, where I get the impression with previous games, you were kind of in a static position or a choice of a few static positions with, I don't know, like an enemy base in front of you, kind of going through a routine, and then you'd have to snipe from that position. From what I've read about this latest version, a lot more robust. You can actually, it's going to play a bit more like a traditional shooter, but you're still this sniper who's miles away from the target, so you have a bit more control, I guess. What else have we got? Ooh, Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm assuming Ben's going to be excited about this
I'm
one.
back now. Yeah,
Back
sorry,
just in
the
time.
dog was getting stressed because he could hear me, but he couldn't see me. But yes,
Horizon-
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes.
That's actually February. I thought that was March.
28th of February.
Oh, I get paid, I think, on the 27th. Oh.
I've got
So,
some really good vibes about this game, Ben.
Yeah, me too.
Really good vibes.
Have you got PS4 Pro?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to look beautiful on there.
Yeah. If this game is a letdown, I'll be really sad.
That'll be one I'm going to play day one. I just
Yeah,
trust it.
It was one of the reasons I initially cancelled the Switch, because I was like, well, as good as Zelda looks, Horizon Zero Dawn is pretty much what Zelda should be at this point in terms of looks. At least, you know, I'm not comparing it to Zelda. I'm sure
It looks
Zelda
a bit like it reminds me of Tomb Raider crossed with The Witcher, maybe.
Yeah, kind of. I guess. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
But for me, I just hope it feels good. I hope the gameplay, jumping up and climbing and smashing things, I just hope it feels smooth and quite easy to do, and you don't feel like it's clunky at all.
I've heard from people that I trust that it's got all of that.
Good.
My only reservation is, and I've got no reason to feel that it's going to be this way, but my only reservation is, will there be enough variation? Is there going to be enough content within the game? And I've heard stuff recently where apparently yes, that it is. Apparently there's a shitload of content in this game.
The trailer I've seen. Remember that trailer when there was that giant griffin she was fighting?
Yeah.
That kind of griffin type thing. It looked amazing.
Yeah. I think games like this, which are kind of technical marvels and doing something a little bit new, you tend to find that the first one that comes out is kind of that Assassin's Creed complex, isn't it? So the first one comes out, looks amazing, but actually your minute-to-minute gameplay is quite limited. I worry about that, but you know, it's a Sony first-party game. There's no real rush to release it. I think they put their time into it, and I think they know they've got something really special on their hands. And I hope they've just put that little bit of extra care into it to make it that 10 out of 10 out of 10 game that's really going to spark a franchise. And this could be what Uncharted 2 was for the PS3. You know, PS3 was
selling everything.
And
Yeah.
it's not, yeah, and it's not even as if the PS4 needs it. You know, the PS4 has essentially won this generation already, but it hasn't done that on the back of its first party content. It's already winning anyway. We can put the cherry on the top of this console and say, okay, we're already winning, but now we've also got this ridiculously strong first party effort, which is going to, you know, be in existence for the next 6 games. Then fair play to them, but we'll see. I just don't want to be disappointed by that game. I put a lot of anticipation into it.
Yeah, me too. Should we do 2 more?
Two more what?
The one that obviously we're going to be talking about that we had talked about before, but also I want to mention Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands. Was that what you were going to mention?
Whereabouts is that?
March the 7th. So that's like
Seven-
a
what,
week later.
Yeah, so we've kind of talked about Switch, because obviously that comes out at the start of March, but not a lot of stuff there. And to be honest, the only thing really of note is Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
On the same day as Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, there's Nier Automata.
Okay.
Have you played that yet?
No, I haven't.
I won't go into it now, but there's a demo on PSN for that. I strongly suggest you play it just to see if you like it.
Okay,
But
that's good.
I'm a big fan. Wildlands, yeah, really looking forward to that. I hope it comes together.
Yeah, like I hope it's got the same feeling and the same gameplay as The Division, because that just felt great. I loved like the combat, the hiding and stuff like that. They did it really well, so I'm gonna definitely I'll definitely give that one a go. And it
looks like it's running on either a very similar or if not the same engine, but obviously it's a big kind of open world effort. So yeah, I'm really I'm hoping to have some really good kind of co-op experiences with that.
Yeah, me too. Star Trek Bridge Crew.
Yeah,
That's VR.
So that could be the big Oculus game that I'm waiting for. You know,
It's not out on Oculus, I'm afraid.
I think you find it is.
It says here PSVR and Vive.
Let me just double check. But I'm pretty sure it is on the Oculus.
Maybe it's just wrong on here.
The wiki page is very limited, but to confuse, well, on the wiki page it says platforms, Microsoft Windows and PlayStation 4, but it doesn't kind of go into. I thought that when they were previewing that it was on Oculus, but on the wiki anyway it says Vive, Oculus, PSVR.
Okay.
So we shall see. I know it's on PS.
Yeah, it is.
VR because it is on Oculus.
Yeah.
Good.
I don't know. Star Trek doesn't do it for me, I'm afraid.
What?
No, it's too nerdy.
He says on the video game podcast.
Yeah.
And
then
later in the month is Mass Effect Andromeda.
Looks fun. Looks interesting.
Yeah.
I'll give that a go.
Yes, I'll be all over that. And later again in the month, there are the Kingdom Hearts re-releases, so Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 Remix and Kingdom Hearts HD 2.5 Remix. So I guess that's where I'll be dip my toe into that franchise to see why people love those games so much.
Yeah. Why the hell they enjoy it. And then is South Park.
Is that in March or April?
I think we said it was the end of March, wasn't it? 31st of March. South Park, The Fractured But Whole.
Yeah, it's not on this list for some reason, but yeah.
Yeah, I think the date has just been announced
okay.
very recently. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That should. Well, I haven't played the original one yet, but I just hear really good things about it, and it looks like kind of just a fun game to play.
Yes.
And not enough games nowadays have humor, and like apart from like Hitman has humor that you make yourself. You just laugh at the stupid situations, but yeah, games that actually go out of the way to make you laugh, then yeah, they're in the minority at the moment.
No, spot on. There is apparently in March the second Outcast. I don't know what that is. I thought it was Outlast, so yeah, I don't know what Outcast is.
Miss
Jackson. Ignore that. Yes. There's not too many with confirmed dates then, but a biggie is Persona 5 on April 4th.
Yeah, I never played the fourth one, I'm afraid. Is it Persona 4 Golden on the
It's like
Vita?
It's really cheap on the Vita at the moment. They sold it for 40 quid for years on the Vita, and I think it's like a $5 now. So
yeah,
I'd really recommend. You might really enjoy that.
I don't know. It seems like a game that you have to put loads of hours in, and I know I won't put loads of hours in, so I think it'd be a waste of money.
Yeah, you can play it on the go.
Yeah, I need to dust off my Vita. Also, Tekken 7.
Yeah. Does anyone care about Tekken 7 though?
No, I don't care about fighting games, to be honest.
Nah.
Legend of Zelda, God of War. I really want that game. I saw that gameplay trailer at E3 last year, and it looked amazing.
Yeah,
I just love that game.
I think they're going to smash that. To be honest, I think that'll be really, really good.
I think that'll be in people's top 10. Did you play Gears of War 4?
No, I don't like Gears of War.
Alright, no, I didn't. I just know that it was only on the Windows Store and it's never on sale. And I know it looked like a game I kind of wanted to play, but yeah, it passed me by. And the fact that they tried to make it exclusive to Windows Store just made me think, nah. What about Thingy's coming to Steam as well, isn't it? Dead Rising 4. Is it Dead Rising 4?
Yeah, I think all of them are on there now.
Is it on there now? Because it wasn't on for a bit. It was
only
on.
They definitely released the older stuff, which I assume was in leading up to.
The 4 comes out. Yeah, it's not out yet. It comes out soon though, I think. Oh, it's oh no, I don't know yet. It's not on Steam yet. It's just on the Windows Store because they're trying to persuade people to use that, which is a bit annoying.
Yeah.
Then there's Uncharted 4: The Lost Legacy.
Yeah, I'll play that.
Prey.
We'll see. I don't know much about it, so we'll see what that one.
It's a reimagining of the 2006 game. A game that I know is going to get loads of hype, but I just really don't fancy it, is Days Gone.
I'd like to think that'll be great, but I don't know. I'm just over the whole zombie thing.
Yeah, you and me too. It's like, okay, yeah, it's in the daylight and there's loads of zombies out and they're all chasing them and they're all climbing over each other. I think it's a great, cool concept, and it's good for the industry that they're trying these new things where there's so many animated characters that are on the screen at the same time, and it's going to show off the hardware. But yeah, no, it looks a bit just like running away from zombies. Sorry, that's 3 years ago.
I just think it just struck me as really odd that you've got something so similar in tone and actual game content as The Last of Us, and they're both kind of first party Sony. I just think they could have done something a little bit different other than a gritty post apocalyptic zombie. Don't get me wrong, Last of Us doesn't really go for the whole zombie thing, but you know, it's a very similar deal, isn't it?
Outlast is the one that's coming out. Outlast 2.
Yeah. So did you play the demo of that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you should play it. It's terrifying. So scary, those things.
I'll have a look at that. Vampire, which are the people from. Aren't they the people from Life is Strange?
Maybe, I don't really know.
I think it's them, or it might be a similar game, but it's quite a different game to Life is Strange. Spider-Man, people seem to be really looking forward to for some reason.
It's made by the Infamous guys.
Okay, I never played Infamous, even though I did request the bundle. Well, no, I went to buy PS4 Pro, and I could get it from Amazon with Infamous 2, or I could get it from the shop for the same price but without it. So I obviously went for Amazon, but the day I went to buy it, it sold out. So I was like, screw it.
Ah, man.
Never mind. Gran Turismo Sport, are you interested in that?
Nope.
Sea of Thieves?
Yes, I would like to play that. That's the rare pirate simulation, isn't it?
Oh, okay. No, I haven't seen that. I'll have a look. Also, Death Stranding says TBC, but I don't think it'll be this year or probably for the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that's definitely not 2017.
But there is a game that's been told. We've been told it's going to be 2017. I'll be very surprised if it does come out this year. Red Dead Redemption 2, the sequel to my favourite game of all time, I think. Yeah, I think definitely one of my favourite games of all time.
Next year, I'd argue. I don't think that's.
Yeah, sure. Oh, it says been tentatively scheduled for late 2017. I'm pretty sure it's going to be early next year.
Yeah.
But I can't wait. Really can't wait for that. Are you a fan of the original?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It says here PC, but I think Games Radar's wrong.
Yeah, that is wrong.
It's not coming out on PC. It'd be great if it would.
It's wishful thinking. That's not the case.
Knack 2.
No.
Shenmue 3.
We'll see.
Oh, what's the other one? Windjammers.
Don't care.
No. Also, Destiny 2 is possibly going to be out this year. I don't think so.
Yeah,
But-
that's that's rumor and speculation, isn't it? We don't know anything about that.
I think possibly it could come out this year. I
It could
think
do, but nothing's been
but they're really
talked
working
about.
on it. But they seem to be releasing the like the big expansions around the end of the year every year, and I've been told that like the reason why the latest expansion was a bit crap was that most people were working on Destiny 2 and they're trying to get it for
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah, I think that's clever money's on that, but there's not much point in talking about a game that they haven't even said is real yet.
I forgot. Yeah, E3 is quite a while away. It's June.
Yeah.
Damn it, 6 months. Okay, so yeah, that looks like an interesting year. We're gonna have nothing to speak about next week. Now I'm gonna get into Rainbow Six Siege, and I'll let you know how that goes.
Sweet.
Anything else?
There's a new Sonic game, but I don't want to talk about that until it's out, and I know it's good.
Okay. Yeah, I hear people have said that it could be very good.
Yes, we shall see.
Okay, so wow, nearly 2.5 hours. I think that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have anything else to add, Jordan?
I'm tired.
Yeah, me too. I'll get this all sorted and uploaded and ready to download in an hour or so on iTunes, because I'm a professional like that.
Yes.
But Jordan, if you send me your thing in the file, and I'll get yours added on. But thanks, this is the very first time we've done a live podcast, a live video game podcast, that is.
Yes.
Okay, so I will see you same time next week.
Bye now.
Bye-bye. Okay, still live on the channel. This is when we have all the extra stuff for the people who are still watching.
So I've stopped recording, by the way.
Yeah, me too. All right,
Okay,
then
cool.
I'll click the we'll stop streaming now.
Yeah, I didn't. I thought maybe I'd messed that up.